LPGA Tour proudly present the season-long race to the CME Globe. From Belmont, Michigan, it's final round coverage of the Meijer LPGA Classic for Simply Give. Just a gorgeous day here, about 10 miles north of Grand Rapids. And for 10 years, across the Great Lakes State, they have come to cheer on the world's best. And we've got another tight leaderboard today. Didn't know that we would see it, but it is now anyone's game. Grant Boone, Morgan Pressel looking at some of the action from earlier. Ewing, Morgan began the day 5 back, but this to take the lead.
Doing exactly what she needed to do. Get off to a hot start, put some pressure on Grace Kim.
That was her 4th straight birdie. 5 behind the 23-year-old Aussie Grace Kim. How would Grace fight back?
She bogeyed the first 2 holes, so off to a rough start, but birdied this hole yesterday, so had some good memories. This would get her back on track.
And that would give her a share of the lead back. Ewing would birdie 8, but bogey 9. And so, look at this. No one within 4 of Grace Kim when the round began, but now you got 9 players separated by just these 4 shots, including some major champs like Anna Nordquist, Allison Corpuz, Lily Abu, Lexi Thompson, and Georgia Hall. And after last week, we saw Linnea Strom come from a tie for last place to win. And it changes how you think about how far back is too far. Morgan and I joined by Karen Stupples and Kay Cockrell out on the golf course as the wind blows a bit here on this Father's Day Sunday. Happy Father's Day to all of you watching, everyone on the crew here. We're at the 9th for our final group, and Karen Stupples is out there watching.
And the weather today is a little bit on the blustery side again. Not quite as bad as it was a couple of days ago on the first round, but it's definitely causing the players some indecision with regards clubs into the green. This is an awkward putt here for Lexi, and it's uphill, and there's like a little tiny ridge that she's going to have to negotiate. Go up and over, and then back down to the hole and to the right. It's going to require some good touch, Morgan.
Yeah, so far today, Karen, surprising me a little bit. There is only 1 birdie today on the 9th hole. That belongs to Carlotta Segunda, who went through quite a few groups ahead of Lexi here.
With it playing into, sorry, Grant, with it playing into the wind, I think that makes this whole play a lot tougher.
Get there.
She just 3-putted the 8th for par after lighting up Blythefield on the front 9 yesterday with a 29. A birdie here yesterday. Morgan finished off a big run for Lexi, her best ever, 6 straight holes with a birdie or better.
Yeah, that's a decent stretch. 7 under through the last 6 holes to finish your 9. I thought it was interesting. She said it's hard to continue playing a little, in not so many words, in her press conference yesterday. Like, she thought about that. She knew that she had gone that 7 under, shot that 29 on the front, and you know, just really hard to continue that type of a run throughout the rest of the round.
Well, Karen, we talked about this yesterday, didn't we? Grace Kim pulled away late from a bunched up leaderboard, took a 5-shot lead into this final round. It's just never easy, and she has recent history playing with a big weekend lead that didn't go well just 7 weeks ago in LA.
No, and I think that's always going to be in the back of your mind until you get over it. And I think you have to take what happens in LA, Wilshire Country Club, as a learning experience, and you have to really kind of sit yourself down and say, what happened, what went wrong, what do I need to do differently? And I think so far today she just hasn't looked particularly sharp. She missed this green left and did not hit a good bunker shot, and actually generally looked a little bit frustrated, which I actually see as a bit of a positive sign. There was more anger than it was getting down. I'd rather see a player get angry than get down.
Karen, there's still a lot of golf left, a lot of time to fight. She has made quite a few good putts to save par, you know, despite the fact that she is now 2 over par on this front 9. She has saved a couple of good pars throughout that stretch as well.
How about that stroke?
Just looked like she played a little bit too much break.
Yeah, looked fine. Yeah. And here's Lilia Vu not out of it. First event back since March. Battling a back injury.
Yeah, great to see Lilia back and clearly playing well, not showing any signs of rust, and not showing any signs of pain either, which is
What happens today, I think that she can take a lot of positives from her tournament. She's put some good rounds together. String of birdies yesterday. It was the most she's had in a row. And I think for Lexi, this is part of the process of getting back on that sole.
Yeah, Lexi!
She announced a couple of weeks ago at the U.S. Women's Open that she'll be stepping away full-time from the LPGA Tour at the end of this season, but still a lot of golf for her to play and a lot of golf left today for Lexi. You got 3 par 5s on the back 9 coming up, including the 10th, which is where we find Korea's Na-Rin An.
Yeah, 28-year-old, just in her 3rd year on tour. A rather poor layup in that it ended up in the left rough, but it's a good angle to this hole location that's on the right-hand side. Wind helping. Got to be careful for a little bit of a jumper or some hit and release when this ball lands on the hole. When this ball lands on the green, excuse me. And judged that pretty nicely.
Third season looking for her first victory. She's had some chances. Allie Ewing has won 3 times. She's played on the Solheim Cup team 3 times, and she's played with big leads. She's come from behind. She's seen it all in 8 seasons out here, Kay.
She has the most experience in this second to last group and the most wins, and certainly gained a boatload of confidence from her amazing play. 6 under par on the weekend at Lancaster Country Club to have her best finish in a major. Was a little off her game yesterday after a brilliant 63 on Friday, but so far has been really good today, other than a bogey made at the last hole off a poor drive. Generally, she's been good on these little pitch shots. This a 53-yarder. Looking to somehow get this up within a 3 or 4 foot circle.
okay. I like the way she walked all the way up there, check where she wanted to land it. There's a big ridge right when it lands, and she didn't carry that. She wanted to carry that about another 5 paces.
But Allie Ewing 5 back when the day started, now leads by 1. Today's coverage is brought to you by Meijer. When we compete, we help feed neighbors in need. By CNE Group, where risk meets opportunity. And by Skechers. Try hands-free Go Golf Skechers slip-ins. Just step in without bending down. Allie Ewing to increase her lead to 2.
A much longer birdie putt than she would have liked. Uphill and quite slow.
Oh, that took a big hop right away, and that took all the pace out of it. I've heard from some players talking about the greens are a little bit slower than they are expecting them to be out there.
Nice move today from Georgia Hall in what has not been her best season so far. Which is a compliment to how many good seasons she has had. But Georgia 5 under today. That's tied for the best round. We're back at the 10th for last year's U.S. Women's Open champ Allison Corpuz. Briefly had the lead yesterday.
That was a massive breakthrough in her career to win the U.S. Women's Open at Pebble Beach. The first time the women had played a USG championship on that golf course. It was so fun to watch her play brilliantly on Sunday to get it done. hasn't quite been able to find that same form this year.
As she said, this week is really the first time she's been in this position all season. But definitely a good confidence builder. She's hitting it well today. Hit a 9 out of 10 greens, but just hasn't quite been able to make the putts. Well, I was giving her this as a made green. Technically, it was off the fringe.
Yeah, you're generous like that. All
She
right,
actually,
on. Yeah.
Grant, Allison's ball ended up on the green in 2 and rolled over the green, so she had a chance to be on the green in 2, putting for eagle, but that didn't happen. So many of the edges around these greens roll away. Got some steep, closely mown areas.
All right, now Ren on to tie the lead.
Naren is a very steady player. There's not too much that goes wildly wrong with her game. Really working her way into a nice, consistent young professional. Models herself after Na Yun Choi, who has been a tremendous professional major champ.
And now Allison Corpuz.
Yeah, this is just a little bit of a sliding putt. Her one birdie came at the par 5 8th, hit it over the green in 2 and got up and down for birdie. Other than that, a lot of pars on the card.
Yeah, she has said that that club, the putter, has been plaguing her a little bit lately. Certainly has putted well so far this week. But just not quite able to make them yet today, okay?
And you can have a boatload of patience, but sometimes that patience starts running thin.
Ewing worked hard for a bogey here yesterday at the 10th. And she'll head to the 11th up by 1. Ryan O'Toole 3-putt at the 11th, so she falls back to 13 under. Next week, it is another major championship. The LPGA Tour, the KPMG Women's PGA Championship from Sahalee on NBC Golf Channel and Peacock. Grace Kim back in the fairway at the 10th.
It was a well-judged tee shot. It's left her 250 to the front, 269 to the hole. That was far.
They're going right. They're going right. Yeah. Double checking.
She's got it.
Yeah. I like that.
She's got a little upslope here. That will help.
I like bigger.
With that.
It is definitely down there.
Yes.
It's down off the left, so this will definitely help her get the ball close to the green. There's also a slope that starts at about 75 yards. That if you can hit that down slope, it's gonna.
There's a lot of trouble on the right. There are some big trees, some fescues. We've seen players, even Allie yesterday got caught up in the fescue. Not quite sure where that ended up, but short-sighted. That whole location all the way on the back right.
She had a 4-shot lead entering the 3rd round of the JM Eagle LA Championship the end of April, and then was tied going into the final round with her countrywoman Hannah Green. Grace struggled, wound up in a tie for 25th. Na Ren on getting ready at the 11th.
She has the honor and therefore will be the guinea pig of sorts on this par 3. Wind mostly left to right, hurting just a tad. The other players will pay attention to the flight of this ball and how it's affected by the wind.
It's been one of the firmer greens on this course, Kay. Players struggling to get it close.
Well, that looked like a well-struck shot, Morgan, and it came up short, rolling back away from the green. And there's an instance where the wind probably hurt it a little more than just simply left to right.
While we have a moment, let's take a look at our tournament summary, brought to you by Volunteers of America. Grace Kim, second time she's had a lead or a co-lead after 54 holes. Told you about the one in LA 7 weeks ago. Struggled trying to win for the second time in her second season. Lexi trying to win for the first time since the summer of 2019. It was this week 5 years ago. And then Allie Ewing, 24th in the Rolex rankings. 2 more weeks today and then next week at the KPMG Women's PGA for players to move in to Olympic position. She's 24th. If she moves into the top 15, she would have a spot in Paris. And a win today for Allie would move her, looking at the numbers, in that 13th, 14th, 15th range. Allison Corpuz at the 11th.
There's certainly a lot on the line both this week and next. Allison in between clubs. Hope she is committed with this one that she has selected and can give this a little bit more to ensure getting on the surface of the green.
Yeah, if you're in between clubs after watching Narin's ball be repelled by that false front, expect her to take the longer of the two.
Shot.
Yeah, very nice shot. And just firm green, tough to get it close, but nicely done.
And back over to the 10th. You can see the 11th tee box in the distance. Lexi's third.
And she's got 108. She's on a bit of a downslope. And you don't, because it's downwind, it's not going to stop as quickly as you might think.
That could go a long way for Lexi. She gets that to drop. Allie Ewing leading by 1 at 11.
And after seeing those two shots, Allie going with a 7-iron, I think it should just be just a normal one. Doesn't have to overpower it. Now pushed it a little, wind moving it further to the right.
So that is where Grace Kim's second shot came to rest. And all in all, Karen, from the way she was looking, we weren't sure where it was. How manageable is this?
Well, she's got a chance, let's put it that way. I mean, it's very awkward because, I mean, she's got a lot of bunker to carry, and then there's a lot of fringe, and then she's going to hit the green, and there's a little upslope there that it's going to pitch into. So you can be quite aggressive from here. Trouble is, it's just that awkward sort of 30 yards worth of shot that is not all that easy. The bonus, she's in the very flat part of the bunker. She's not on an upslope, and she does have a bit of helping wind to help that. She can hit a little chunky shot if she wants, land it over the front edge of the bunker on the downslope and get it to release to the hole. But you have to be 100% committed, because there's a couple of ways you can play this.
Yeah, judging by her reaction back there on her second shot, I was not expecting it to end up here, Karen. This is a really good opportunity. Oh, goodness. That came out dead right on her. That was very strange. Too shallow in her angle of attack. Didn't take it back outside enough. Didn't carry it far enough either. Let's take another look. Let's see how she takes this back. Takes it back almost straight back instead of just slightly outside. On these types of bunker shots, you need to have a little bit out to in.
It's par 5. She'll have that for a fourth. Grace Kim's 5-shot lead, now a 1-shot deficit. fourth shot for Grace Kim at 10.
A little bit of a thick lie here.
Oh, that was a moment ago and nearly stole a birdie.
Wow, what a break. I mean, that was going to be 15, 20 feet past for par. She wasn't going to be able to get any stop on that. And now, what, 2 feet? That's a very lucky break. Take them when you can get them.
Maybe the one she needed. Allie Ewing for birdie at 11.
Slightly uphill putt with some right to left movement.
Just a completely different day. Moment ago, Lexi for birdie at 10.
Well, and this putt is uphill. And that could be the momentum she needs, Morgan.
Yeah, this club worked very well for her yesterday. Made over 100 feet of putts and saw that line very well. Taking advantage of the par 5 here after stumbling on the 4th.
Allison Corpuz unable to make birdie at the 11th. And now Narin on for par.
Narin hit a decent little pitch off a tight lie with a severe upslope. It kind of sat and grabbed a little late. So consequently, 9-10 footer for par. She's a player that has played fairly consistently this year. 3 missed cuts, 2 top 10s. Her best finish was at the match play where she lost in the semis to eventual winner Nelly Korda.
I really like her putting stroke, Kay. It's very simple. She almost has the heel of the putter just slightly off the ground a little bit, which eliminates face rotation. And she's just got a very simple stroke.
That could loom large. Stays at 15 under. Has a couple of wins in Korea and beat some big fields there, including the likes of Jin Young Ko back a few years ago. Well, this would be quite the 5 for Grace Kim at the 10th.
It would be, but she's had a couple of bunker shots now that have not looked particularly good. And she, as Morgan was saying, got away with that one. So maybe needs to turn that into a little positive for her.
She went on a late tear after a bogey here at 10 yesterday. Pulled away from Allie Ewing, among others. Here's Allie for par at 11. Again, a 5-shot lead for Grace Kim when the day began. But now we have 7 players separated by just 3 shots, and one of them, Lilia Vu, is playing the par 5 14th. Again, Morgan, her first event since March.
Yeah, she has really worked hard, I know, to get back out here. Purposefully took the Women's Open off, even though maybe she could have played, but wanted to give herself a couple extra weeks just to prepare so she didn't come back too soon.
Take a look at this tee shot of Carlota Segundas with our Top Tracer technology presented by Progressive Insurance.
Hole location today all the way on the back right. This hole has kind of given players fits this week. Only 3 birdies so far today on this hole. You can see the winds picking up a little bit out there into the players' faces there on 15.
Lilia said she was relieved after that opening round, her first round of 18 holes since taking the time off, and back-to-back birdies will take Lilia Vu to within 2. Final group is at the 11th. And Karen, you were out there yesterday when Lexi Thompson was making her move. Shot 65 yesterday with that incredible front 9, and I don't know that there's anywhere on tour she loves more than this place, Blythefield, where she won in 2015, and the crowds love her back.
They really do, and as a player, when you feel the crowd is with you, it feels like a very, it's like coming home. I mean, it's like you know that they're rooting you on every step of the way, and you kind of want to perform for them, but you know that they want the very best for you as well. And these par threes, they're tricky here at Blythefield. This is 149 today. The wind is off the left, but there seems to be a little bit of hurt coming into the players as well, which is what's causing the players to think hard about it.
Yeah, Lexi needs to get a little bit of height here, a little extra height to get it to stop close to this hole. It's been such a firm green, Karen.
It has been. She does have some height here. Started it left of the flag, fading towards it.
Smart play, as we've seen what happens when you come up just the slightest bit short there on 11.
Now this 18th always providing fireworks. Maria Bassi for eagle. This was a moment ago, and a 3 for Fassi.
Sign of what is possible. Third eagle of the day today on 18. Could it come down to the very last hole? This has many times in the past here.
Grace Kim at 11.
And this is a 7 for Grace. Started a little bit at the flag, trying to fade away from it though.
And maybe that break she got at 10 is just what she needed. A pitch shot was go screening past the hole, hit the stick, saved par. Today's coverage is brought to you by Meijer. When we compete, we help feed neighbors in need. And by Win Grips, the best grips in golf. Lilia Vu began the day 8 shots off the lead. At the moment, she is 2 back, out in front of the others in contention on the tee at 15.
You mentioned that she feels some relief. I'm sure taking that kind of time off. Oh, so firm. All these par threes, but you never know quite what you're going to get. It's, you know that you've prepared, you know you're putting yourself in that position to play again, but being in contention is very different than practicing at home.
To the 11th, and a birdie putt for Anna Nordquist.
And this is really difficult from long range here. There's a number of subtle undulations that she's going to have to negotiate, and then as the ball's approaching the hole, that's just on a slight upslope. So getting the right distance is not going to be easy.
We've seen a lot of putts come up short this week, Karen. Just the greens being a little bit slower than certainly these players have seen recently.
Down the hill to the 12th fairway, and Allison Corpuz.
She drove it nicely with a 3-wood, placed it on the right side of this fairway. Allie Ewing, meanwhile, is in the fairway bunker close to the front lip and will have issues. Good opportunity for Allison to play it at the TV tower and let the wind drift it to the right. Don't want to miss right. This looks good, though.
Yeah, beautiful shot. Wonderful golf swing. Her golf swing has not been the issue for her as of late. And she's second so far this week in greens and regulation, just putting on a ball striking clinic.
Lexi with a birdie at the 10th, trying to back it up with another here at 11.
And this one should move to the left. And I like that, the follow through that she put there on that practice stroke.
Only 5 birdies so far today through the entire field on this hole. Just misses on the high side. Looked like a good roll. She talked about how she was really picking a high point where she wants to die the ball off of. So it felt like she was seeing the lines very well.
To 12, and our leader, Ewing.
Yeah, she's going to aim a little more to the center left side of this green. Try to get as much club on it as she can.
Yeah, she was
solid contact.
Okay, on 9 as well. Ended up
yeah, the one on
making
9, she had no
bogey.
chance of getting to the green.
Yeah, smart play, playing left, where in case she did catch it a little heavy, it would be fine.
And Lily Avu really can't afford any dropped shots here. This is her second at 15.
Just a little bit speedy from beyond this entire green, sloping back to front. That'll leave a bit of a ticklish putt down the hill. But as I said, the greens are super, super fast.
Nice tee shot from Grace Kim, the overnight leader by 5, and this to get a share of the lead back at 11.
And a very similar angle to Anna's putt. So she would have learnt a bit from watching Anna's ball roll. Kept her head down on that one.
Yeah, also a good-looking stroke there. And like a confident stroke. I like seeing that it went a little bit past the hole. Karen, no tentativeness to it.
Had 5 3-putts through the first 36 holes, none since. Naren on at 12.
This green tilts front to back, and she got lucky with that shot, Morgan. Didn't strike it really well.
It's Father's Day Sunday in Belmont, Michigan. And a crowded leaderboard at the top. Allie Ewing in front by 1. Allie Ewing from off the green at the 12th.
A hefty 50-footer. Grant for birdie, going with the putter off the fringe. Slightly downhill. The hole is set in a little bit of a valley.
Just really almost need a full turn there to get that all the way to the hole. Not a bad effort.
All right, Lily Avu to save her par at the 15th and to stay 2 back.
Yeah, she's certainly has that par 5 18th that we've seen some fireworks on, but got 3 holes left to post something for the leaders to think about.
Wow. Naren on trying to become a co-leader. This at the 12th.
I'm seeing a little bit of a double break to this putt. It's slightly downhill, left to right initially, then trying to pull back to the left again.
Oh, after that bounce, Kay, you said she didn't hit that second shot very well, but what a way to walk away with birdie here.
So 2 at 16 under and back up the hill to the tee, and Grace Kim.
And going with the driver. Got to keep this one down the left side because the bunkers down the right would come into play with this club.
It's such a pretty tee shot, standing up there on that tee. It reminds me actually a lot of the tee shots that these players had at Lancaster a couple weeks ago. Some of the big downhill sweeping holes.
Mattia Titukun, former #1 in the world, just 21 years old, for eagle at 14. Well, wouldn't think there's enough time left, but that 18th is reachable in 2. Lovely approach from Allison Corpuz at the 12th. This for birdie.
It's time for her to get off this par train. If she wants a chance to win this tournament, she's got to roll in putts, and this is a perfect opportunity right here.
Okay, this feels like a must make, both for confidence and for score.
Absolutely.
Oh, I think she thought she had that. Oh,
I
goodness.
did too. Can't buy a putt right now.
I mean, that, look at her reaction. That caught the lip without much pace. Looks like she hit it the way that she wanted to. Some days it just goes that way.
Now Ewing for par to stay tied for the lead.
Yeah, this is a massive putt for the obvious to stay tied for the lead, but also to avoid a 2-shot swing with Meijer on. Back 9 on Sunday is so challenging, and these are the putts you have to continue to make.
Yeah, really solid. Great point, Kay. Those are the ones that, those 5-6 footers are the ones that win tournaments.
Today's coverage is brought to you by Meijer. When we compete, we help feed neighbors in need. And by Volunteers of America, dedicated to building healthy communities through health, housing, and human services. Give at VOA.org. Now tied for the lead at the 13th, Na Rin on.
Grant, 6-iron in hand, little wind helping right to left. Oh, she struck that extremely well. Very straight shot.
Really straight. First got to know Na Rin a little bit when she contended at the 2021 BMW in Korea. Led after the first couple of rounds and gave her confidence. Went on to win Q Series. It's back to the 12th we go in Lexi.
She's got 130. Balls above her feet and on an upslope. Back into the wind here. Whole location tucked on the right side. So this one's quite safe, left of the flag.
Yeah, it's a similar putt to the one we just saw Na Rin on make in the group ahead. But you could see she was trying to get it to fall a little bit more to the right, especially with her body lean.
Allie Ewing over at the 13th tee.
Allison Corpuz hit the green with a 6-iron. Allie also with 6. Trying to start this a little right of the flag.
Hit the stick yesterday.
Oh, that took a huge bounce. That landed much firmer than Na Rin's did.
Back over to the 12th and Anna Nordquist. The time is now for Anna.
It is. She has a wedge. This is from 120. Trying to get this one to work to the right. It's on a good line.
After a nice tee shot, Grace Kim at the 12th.
Yes, from 103. On a tee shot, she really had to give it some thought about the line, because she knew that that bunker that's just behind her and to the right was coming into play with the club she took. But the aggressive play of the tee has left her a very agreeable second shot. I think she can really be aggressive with this one.
She said she likes to play aggressively. And I think you have to play aggressively if you want to win, especially when you're coming from behind, which Grace is at this point.
She was the hunted. Now she is the hunter, from 5 up to 1 back, but a good look at birdie at 12. And a reminder, coming up at the top of the hour, coverage moves over to CBS. Kelly Tillman will join the team. And who knows how this one is going to end. Lilia Vu out in front of the other contenders. And these are big weeks for some of these young players trying to earn some valuable CME points. Nelly Corda missed the cut, shot 76 in the opening round. Came back with a solid 67, but missed by 1. Brooke Henderson was right there, headed to the weekend, Morgan, with a chance. 3 back, going into yesterday's 3rd round.
Yeah, she had a 39 on her front yesterday, and that really sealed the deal for her not to be her week here. And of course, she loves so much.
She loves Sahali as well. Brooke will be the returning champion there next week at the KPMG Women's PGA, where she won in 2016. Allison Corpuz back in contention for the first time in nearly a year on the LPGA Tour, with a chance on Sunday. Pulled away on that back 9 at Pebble. She was tied with Nasa Hataoka and then What a performance on those last 9 holes.
I have to think, Morgan, that there was a little bit of a hangover after winning the U.S. Open and then playing in the Solheim Cup, and so many extraordinary things happening for her last year. Doesn't surprise me she came out a little bit sluggish this year to start, but it's a long season.
Yeah, it's, you know, we've seen some similarities in not really being up and in contention from Celine Boutier this year as well, after having such a great season last year. And sometimes you feel like you're working hard, you're putting in the time and energy, and it just doesn't all seem to add up to the scores you think it should. And you never know quite when that tide might flip. So you just got to keep to the grind, stay patient, and keep giving yourself as many opportunities as possible.
Back at the 12th, Lexi Thompson for birdie.
And this one could roll out just a little bit more than some of the other putts. The hole is definitely slanted away from Lexi.
Lexi Thompson is not going away. Won her first of 11 titles with her dad Scott on the bag. 2011. He's here watching and cheering her on today. She's 2 back at the moment. Allie Ewing for birdie at 13.
Allie made it coveted birdie 2 here yesterday. Similar speedy downhill putt today. And she certainly cooled off a little bit after that hot start. But a par on this hole, Morgan, is always acceptable.
Yeah, there's a difference when you're chasing, when you're 4 or 5 back to start the day and you give it everything you got, then suddenly you see your name on the top of the leaderboard and different things start going through your mind.
So it is a tie at the top. Na Rin on and Allie Ewing. Grace Kim, the overnight leader, has a chance to tie them at the 12th. Lexi Thompson with the birdie at 12, and she's just 2 shots back. Still a chance for anyone on that front page. And a reminder that as our coverage moves over to CBS, 3rd major of the season begins Thursday at Sahalee, the KPMG Women's PGA Championship, Peacock, Golf Channel, and NBC. On this Father's Day, thanks to our producer Jesse West, director Brian Hennessy, Morgan Pressel, Karen Stupples, Kay Cockrell, and the team. I'm Grant Boone. Thanks for watching the LPGA Tour on Golf Channel. Coverage continues over on CBS in a moment. Still there for the taking. Enjoy the final round of the Meijer LPGA Classic on CBS.
Welcome to the Great Midwest and Blythefield Country Club, about 10 miles north of Grand Rapids, Michigan. We're in Belmont for the final round of the Meijer LPGA Classic for Simply Give. I'm Kelly Tillman. Great to be with you on this Father's Day. Here is your leaderboard as we get closer to this big finish. A lot of fireworks in store here. Allie Ewing, the American, tied at the top with South Korean Na Rin on, making a big push today. Those twos are. I am alongside Morgan Pressel and Karen Stupples, and Kay Cockrell are on the golf course. And this is going to be a thriller, Morgan, to say the least, as we watch Lexi here at the 13th, coming off a couple of birdies in her last 3 holes.
Lexi has a 7-iron out. And this hole is playing 182 today, Morgan.
Lexi's really been able to turn it around today, Karen, and those last couple birdies in the last 3 holes, very impressive, and another good look here.
And let's get over to the 16th and another major champion in Lilia Vu. This for birdie.
Look at how far left she is playing this, expecting it to turn dead sideways. Oh, flips it in the low end, the low side.
No bogeys on that card today. Just a beautiful round of golf at 15 under. Now back to Grace Kim, the overnight leader.
And this is a 6-iron underway. This is going on a high fade.
And it will settle in just past pin high. She started the day with a 5-shot lead and stumbled quickly to give it right back. And now we have a real race on our hands. And we will keep it right here. Anna Nordqvist set to play.
Anna's also got a 6-iron out. Just getting there.
No, you should be a little bit coming from the right, a little bit help too. I think you're just going to have to trust that and commit to it.
I think a gust of wind there, and when you get down on this lower level of this golf course, the wind can really play with a player's head. You have to be 100% committed to where you believe the wind is coming from, because it swirls so much down here.
Well, that one left and just trickling off the green. A little tricky setup there in her backstroke. We will see how she handles that. As we head to the 14th and check in with Ryan O'Toole and a birdie chance. She looked good at the start of the round, Morgan, but has not had the magic since.
Yeah, it's got off to definitely a hot start. This par 5 is one you want to take advantage of. Second easiest hole in the golf course. That one's going to hurt.
This is Allison Lee sizing up a par bid.
Yeah, this club, she's actually been very open in what she said. This club's given her some fits this week. Doesn't feel comfortable over these putts. Let's see how she does here.
She got off to a tremendous start this week, taking it real low in the first round, holding at 11 under par, 5 off the pace. Now, see if she can make this one. Sometimes these are harder than the par putt you missed.
Looks like it might be further than the putt that she missed. You just got to refocus, put that previous stroke out of your mind.
Well done. So you can see there, 2 birdies in her first 3 holes and tremendous eagle there at the 8th. And quite the cool down since then on a back 9 that is ripe for scoring. And take a look at these crowds here today. Happy Father's Day to any and all dads out there. Great to see so many Michiganders out taking in the sights and sounds of the Meijer LPGA Classic, celebrating a 10-year anniversary. These crowds have always shown up. So too have the likes of Lexi Thompson and Brooke Henderson and Nelly Korda, just a few of the past champions. Now, what is ahead here for Anna Nordqvist with this next shot?
Well, it's a bit awkward, Kelly, in that it's pretty close to the thicker cut of rough. So Anna with the putter out, and this is something we see a lot from Anna. She's very comfortable using the putter around the greens and from off the greens. But this is close, so she's going to have to really work on the angle of attack here into the back of the ball.
Karen, there's no one better from putting from off the green than Anna is, but this one, it's not going to, it's originally going to actually be hit down slightly into the ground and then pop up. It's going to be tough to judge the speed.
It will be, and it is downhill all the way to the hole as well. Anna doesn't hit the ball with quite as much spin as a number of players out here, and so just ran through the green, but off of a good shot.
Now we talk about how much this community really embraces this event and how players really feel like home. Leona earlier this week said this feels like home in Ireland. Anna said this reminds her a lot of Sweden. Said, you know, those perfect summer nights. It might get a little bit colder in Sweden than it does here, but I've not spent too much time in the winter in either location.
It's on the European Tour, you can play until midnight in some places, if it's the right time of year.
Get in the hole!
What a beautiful roll. All but in for Anna Nordqvist. 9 tour wins, hoping to make it double digits. But still, 5 off the pace. We have 2 tied at the top, Narin An and Allie Ewing. Stay with us to see who gets it done at the Meijer LPGA Classic for Simply Give. Great to be back in the Midwest. We're looking forward to this exciting finish. We're just 15 minutes north of downtown Grand Rapids, Michigan on a sun-splashed day in the Midwest. The final round of the Meijer LPGA Classic for Simply Give began with Grace Kim holding a 5-shot lead, but things tightened quickly. American Allie Ewing earlier today in the second-to-last group began the day with the leader barely in view, but surged with 4 straight birdies, capping it here at the 6th to get to 16 under par. 23-year-old Australian Grace Kim started her day with back-to-back bogeys, then finally broke the seal at the par 4 6th. This shot propelled her to her first birdie of the day, and she would climb back to 16 under par. 28-year-old Narin An of South Korea also joined the Sunday party. After turning in 3 under, she drops another birdie at the 12th to tie the lead. And a lot of names in the hunt, including a past Meijer champion and Lexi Thompson, who shot 29 on the front 9 yesterday, part of a 65. She was even par on it today. Then birdies at 10, another here at the 12th, and she is within 2 of the lead. So Grace Kim's 5-shot lead evaporates quickly, but she's still very much in the hunt. She did drop a shot back at 15 under, so +2 on the day. We're on the home stretch in Belmont. Let's see who gets it done. CBS Sports and the LPGA Tour bring you the final round of the Meijer LPGA Classic for Simply Give, part of the season-long race to the CME Globe. Great sights here in West Michigan. Happy 10th anniversary to the Meijer LPGA Classic, which has been played at Blythefield Country Club every year since its inception. And happy Father's Day to all the proud dads out there. What a treat for the families in attendance today. We have beautiful sunny weather with temperatures slated to peak around 90 degrees by the end of this round, just a couple of hours from now. So great to be with you. And here at the Meijer LPGA Classic for Simply Give. I'm Kelly Tillman, alongside a major champion in Morgan Pressel, another major champion in Karen Stupples following the final group, and a 2-time U.S. Amateur champion in Kay Cockerell with Allie Ewing's group. And Kay is here right now with a check-in on Ewing, a co-leader.
Thank you, Kelly. Allie had just a 5-iron into this par 5 to hit it in 2, hit a horrible second, left herself in a terrible position, and now going to be scrambling for par on a hole that everyone is eating up.
That was a bizarre pitch shot. Didn't take it back nearly far enough there.
Yeah.
Lexi up and away on the 14th. She is known for her power and her aggressive nature, and this back 9 certainly complements that style of play.
That was an important tee shot right there for Lexi, though, Karen, after hitting it in that penalty area yesterday.
No question about it. She was a little bit unlucky. It took a left bounce into it yesterday, but no need to even be worried about that one today. Absolutely pummeled down there and should have no problem getting to the green in 2. Grace has enough power to do so, but requires a really good tee shot here. She's got a lot of air under that one, so that's a good strike for Grace.
Yeah, that should be definitely plenty far down there for her to be able to get to the green as well.
And up ahead, this is the 4th now for Ewing.
Has to be really clutch here and not drop a shot on this hole that frankly, is giving up eagles and birdies.
Well, who knows what's going to happen from this point forward, but we know we are in for a fantastic finish. Kelly Tillman alongside Morgan Pressel. It was a 5-shot lead for Grace Kim at the start of the day. That was gone quite quickly. She only harkens back to less than a couple of months ago when she had a 4-shot lead through the halfway mark at Wilshire Country Club in Los Angeles. She tried to learn something from that. Have you seen some progress here today? She's still in the hunt.
Oh, she's definitely still in the hunt. I mean, her lead was gone after 4 holes, and that can be really shocking to the system. You've slept on a 5-shot lead. You came into the day with a 5-shot lead. It's a little bit different. She teed off earlier today with the early finish. Then in LA, had a 2 o'clock tee time. Said she got to the golf course too early. People were wishing her luck. It was making her nervous, stressing her out a little bit. You know, her preparation, I'm sure, was a little bit shorter today, and just got off to a really tough start. Allie Ewing coming from behind, nothing to lose, got off to the opposite, a very hot start. And now Grace can go back to play the game that she has played the rest of the week as a chaser, as an aggressive player, which she likes to be. And I love that she has not gotten down on herself, that she has really continued to fight, because that's what it's about. When you know that not everything is going to go your way when you're trying to win a championship like this, and she's continuing to fight her way back.
Well, and I alluded to it just a moment ago. This back nine has 3 par 5s on it, a multitude of par 3s as well, but a couple of par 5s right here down the stretch, and a lot of swings can happen. Who do you think, based on what you've seen today and in recent form, seems to be the biggest threat to take this title?
I mean, it has been a little bit of a ping-pong match as we've gone through this day. I mean, Lilia Vu is 1 shot back right now. She has 17 and 18 to play. We've already seen a multitude of eagles, 3 eagles so far on 18 here. Nalrin on putting for eagle on 14. You mentioned those 2 par 5s. They're going to be pivotal here coming down the stretch, especially that final hole.
She has such a silky putting stroke to complement that beautifully tempoed golf swing. And the 28-year-old is in a prime spot to taste victory. And that was the case just last season for Allison Corpuz, who perhaps had the sweetest of U.S. Women's Open victories as it was played at Pebble Beach.
Kelly, I was out there walking around watching her win that championship, and it was electric. For the women playing at Pebble Beach in the USGA Championship for the first time, and she just shined. Now this for eagle, uphill putt, and this to jump into the fray.
She hasn't quite been getting anything to fall today. That was a quick walk for a putt that was right in the heart. Looked like it had a good chance, just ran out of some steam. But I mean, there are 6 players, excuse me, within 2 shots of the lead right now. I mean, it really is anybody's ball game with 5 holes left to play.
Well, we cannot stress enough the importance of this putt for Allie Ewing.
She has been really solid on these putts for most of the week. Remember, 2 days ago, she shot a 63 and was on top of the world. And then yesterday, just didn't have it. She grinded hard to shoot 1 under par. And today, it's kind of been a tale of 2 nines. So hot on the front 9 and then a little bit off so far on the back. But this is crucial.
Yeah, this is a big putt. Okay, I think, you know, when you start the day behind, you go for broke, you give it all you got, you play aggressive golf, and suddenly, probably even earlier than Allie thought, she sees her name at the top of the leaderboard, and that does things to your nervous system. Good, solid stroke there.
So she stays tied at the top with On, and now we'll check in with her for birdie.
Yeah, and On, you know, she's one of those players like Allison Corpuz, just in her 3rd year on this tour, and she won Q Series. So that kind of opened a lot of people's eyes to her talent. I mean, that's a tough feat to go through the qualifying process and win that event that gets you your tour card. Oh my goodness.
Wow, okay, a player who's top 5 in the field in putting this week. A 3 putt there for par. That is shocking.
That completely surprised me, and I know it surprised her. It'll be interesting to see how she responds after that.
I almost gave her that in my head. I was considering that a birdie, going to take the lead outright, but not to be.
Well, Lilia Vu has no idea that happened, but knows that she has a chance to win for birdie.
Great to see Lilia back after battling an injury. Has been out for a few months. Wasn't able to defend at the Chevron Championship earlier this year. Her first week back and putting herself right back in the hunt.
She opted to skip the U.S. Women's Open just to be extra sure that her body was ready to go, and boy, does it look like it's ready to go. Hasn't dropped a shot since the 13th hole yesterday.
Hello, I'm Rick Keys, President and CEO of Meijer, a Grand Rapids, Michigan-based retailer with more than 260 supercenters and grocery stores across the Midwest. We're a family company committed to the communities we serve, and we're excited to welcome some of the world's best golfers back to Grand Rapids for our 10th annual Meijer LPGA Classic for Simply Give. This event is more than a golf tournament. It's a partnership with our community that began a decade ago to help those experiencing food insecurity. Our previous tournaments generated more than $10 million to help our food pantry partners feed families in need across the Midwest. In celebration of our 10th tournament, we look forward to making an even bigger impact this year because the need remains great. On behalf of Meijer, I'd like to thank the LPGA, our sponsors, volunteers, staff, and the team at Blythefield Country Club for their partnership in putting on this great tournament. Together, we've made our 10th year the best one yet. And lastly, I'd like to recognize our food pantry partners, supported by the Simply Give Hunger Relief Program, for their tireless work to feed those in need. You have our deepest appreciation.
Back at Blythefield Country Club in the 15th tee with Naren on.
Naren just saw Allison Corpuz hit a pretty solid 8-iron, going with the same club.
How did she
Hold it
seem,
a
Kay,
little.
how did she seem walking off of that green there?
A little disheveled, and she kind of took her time walking to the next tee to just sort of recalibrate things.
Can totally relate. Coming up next, we wrap up this outstanding afternoon on CBS from the pitch for NWSL action featuring a showdown between the Seattle Reign and the Portland Thorns. That's right here on CBS and streaming on Paramount+. Now back at the tee and Allie Ewing. And let's check out this shot with our top tracer technology.
Allie going also with an 8-iron. Backed off the shot initially as a gust of wind, hurting a little stronger, came up. Players just having a tough time really taking on this whole location.
That's very nicely done. I can tell you Allison Corpuz is also on board at the 15th. Birdie putts are on the way. The Meijer LPGA Classic for Simply Give is sponsored by Meijer. When we compete, we help feed neighbors in need. Back at the 14th, and Grace Kim over her third on the par 5.
Not a particularly easy pitch from here, up over a big slope, but has played this well.
Oh, very well, Karen.
Lovely shot. Let's take another look at this. She just picks the perfect spot to bounce this into the slope. Takes one hop up and trickles down. Nearly holes it. What a shot.
You know, in an effort to speed up play, can we just start giving those again?
I think we've seen enough in the game of golf. Nothing's ever taken for granted.
Take a look at this, Morgan. This was the win percentage chance for Grace Kim at the start of the day with a 5-shot lead. Now, I did mention she had that 4-shot lead in LA about 7 weeks ago and dwindled it 76-77 on the weekend. You know, if you're Scotty Scheffler or Nelly Korda, maybe that win percentage chance is much higher, but she's still very much in the hunt and still, you know, a shot to win.
I think she learned really to never give up. And not to say that she gave up in LA, but things just started to spiral out of control. And I've been impressed with the way she hasn't gotten too far ahead of herself after losing that big lead through only the 4th hole.
Well, Kay, this isn't exactly the distance you want to be from the hole, trying to lag putt after what just happened on the last. She wants to get this quite close, I'm sure.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Kelly. It takes a lot of strength and a lot of self-belief to put a mistake behind you and not let it infiltrate into your confidence or your thoughts on putting. This is close to a 40-footer. Ideally, she'd like to just snuggle it up there to tap-in range.
It's very similar to the distance she had before, just a little farther away. We will check in with Lexi on the 14th, and this is an eagle chance.
Down a little slope right there.
You're good.
Is it going to make it all the way down there? Lovely putt, wonderful speed. She talked about trying to really pick a spot. She wanted to roll the ball over. And on those long, lengthy putts, that one was brilliantly done.
And now this is Corpuz trying to dissect this putt and see what it will do. That win at Pebble Beach. Kay, she said that what really helped her was to really appreciate where she was, take in the view, slow things down and stay in the moment. And hopefully she can do that for the rest of these holes.
Well, it was sort of only natural that she would win along the Pacific Ocean, as she's born and raised in the Hawaiian Islands and used to playing coastal golf with the ocean close by. This is slightly uphill with a bit of left to right movement to it.
Not to say that it's not a beautiful part of the world here, but I don't know if the views are quite like the views at Pebble Beach. It's a little different.
Understatement of 2024. She went to Punahou High School, just like her friend Michelle Wee, who actually said goodbye to competitive golf at that very U.S. Women's Open. So the twist of fate coming to fruition. And she also received a congratulatory tweet from President Barack Obama, who also went to Punahou High School. So they're putting out some talent there. And now Ewing with a chance to grab the individual lead, Kay.
And Allie, with her experience, she has had 3 wins on tour. Yes, it's been almost 2 years since she last won, but she has the experience. She has the know-how to handle herself in these situations, Morgan. And I know she was upset with the par on the last, the way she played that hole, but on to the next. And she needs to make a putt. It's been quite a few, close to an hour or more since she's made a significant putt.
Yeah, this is going to be a slow putt. Should have gotten a decent read from Narins. And maybe because Narin missed it so low there, Kay, overplayed the break.
Yeah, that happens. And these greens are challenging. They're bent Poana. Sometimes a little bit of bumpiness and inconsistency, but overall they roll pretty purely. But this is a big putt now for Narin. Kelly, you alluded to it, you know, missing that short putt on the last hole. And see if she can just steady herself and put a good solid stroke on it. She has a really simplistic putting stroke and stays very steady over it.
Okay.
That was a big important putt, especially after the last hole. Was able to shake that off nicely. Good stroke.
See there at the bottom right of your screen, Lexi Thompson got her birdie at 14. So too did Grace Kim, who's now in a 3-way tie for the lead, unless Ewing can make this putt and stay there. Yes, she does.
The Pro V1X just gives me the solid and confidence that I need. I've really relied on my ball striking throughout the years. Just the feel that I have and the trustworthiness that I know this ball is going to carry 135 yards gives me all the confidence that I need.
Allie Ewing, fairway, second 16 on the way. Oh, this is great. Wow, what a shot.
No matter the conditions, I feel like I'm able to trust in my Pro VX, whether that's wind, whether it's rain. Having that feel and the trust in a golf ball, I think, just really elevates your confidence on a tough day. And being able to rely on a good golf ball is all the difference in the world for a good round.
73, the problem with that right side's a little bit firm.
Do not want to be long. Oh, yes, it's almost perfect.
Titleist has proven that it's the best ball in golf. It's a reliable golf ball that I've had in my bag for a really long time.
And those comments from Allie Ewing, presented by Titleist. It's all about trust, isn't it, Morgan? You have to trust your equipment. You have to trust yourself, your caddy, the process, all of it.
It takes it all together is the winning formula. You can't just have a few pieces of it. You've got to have all of it put together and all to come together for 4 days.
Well, Karen, Lexi shot 29 on the front nine yesterday en route to a 65, a little bit more quiet on the back. Today it's the opposite situation. What have you noticed since she's made the turn that's really kicking things up for her?
Well, I think it's been all about making a couple of putts and, gaining a little bit of momentum. I think the birdie on 10 was huge. And I think really just putting herself in better positions. She's made some good long putts today. And I think she looks pretty comfortable. Like in general, her swing looks pretty flowing right now. And she looks as comfortable as I've seen her on a golf course in quite some time. She's got a 9-iron here. And Morgan, this whole location is a bit of a beast because you don't want to go long and you don't want to go right.
And ideally just a little bit short and left. I talked to her dad out at the Open a couple of weeks ago. He said they'd really found something in her swing, that she'd gotten into some bad habits, and she's a bit too stiff on the ball, trying to allow her arms to fold a little bit more in the takeaway and not get the club so stuck behind her. And I think that's why we're seeing a more fluid flowing swing from Lexi this week.
She'll have a good look at 15 as we get back to on the tee at 16.
Hard dog leg left. This going to the left side. Fairway slopes left to right here.
And it could be a little bit blocked out there.
Nestling down into the bluegrass.
It's going to come in too flat. Yeah.
Let's take a look at Grace Kim now here at 16 with our top tracer technology. Excuse me, 15.
And Grace has got an 8-iron out. Typically she's been about... She's playing one club more than Lexi all day. Wind is very swirly right now on this tee. It should be coming into the players, but every once in a while you get a bit of a gust from the right.
You can see both of them really kind of confused here, Karen. You really have to pick one and commit to it.
I was just about to say that C word, Morgan. You've got to be committed. It's so hard.
And these trees and this low area where this hole is, back in this corner, it's so tough to tell exactly where the wind is coming from.
This will be safe enough.
Similar to where on was just a few moments ago, so we have a pretty good idea of what that putt is going to do. And now let's go to 16T, where we catch up with Allie Ewing.
All players hitting driver here because it's back into the wind. There is a hidden bunker at the turn where the dog leg goes left. And that should be okay.
She's flirting with it, that is for sure, but that will find some short grass and possibly even a little bit of dirt as it's settled down into what looks like a divot hole. Here at the 18th, Lilia Vu on her second.
Yeah, she's in a wonderful spot here, but oh, doesn't like this at all. little bit thin, but she's going to get away with it.
It's important for her to finish strong here. Put up a number, give them something to think about with a few holes remaining for these final couple of groups. Our coverage continues on a beautiful day in Belmont. Here at the par 4 16th, this is the second shot for Narin An.
Not a very good lie, Kelly, in the deep primary rough. 123 yards. Going to try to gouge something out and get it up that steep hill.
It looked like a really straight-faced club. But, I mean, coming out of the rough to that front hole location is nearly impossible.
She's going to have to rely on that short game that let her down just a couple of holes ago as we get back to the situation here for Grace Kim. I mentioned we'd seen this putt from An, so what's the advice here if you were a caddy?
Well, I think if Drew Ernst is Grace's caddy and he's pointed to a spot on the green, and Morgan, you said that he's been helping quite a bit. Well, I think that was Kay yesterday who said he's been helping her quite a bit with the reads, that she trusts him to get involved with that quite heavily, and I think he's done his job, which is to point to a spot on the line that she needs to get the ball rolling over. Now, what Grace is in charge of is the speed.
Yeah, this green has been one of the hardest to putt today. Has the highest average number of putts, but that was really well judged for speed. She talked about how she lost a lot of confidence with the Poana greens in LA.
And this is the situation for Allie Ewing. Kay, this ball settling down. Doesn't appear to be a divot hole so much as just a hole.
Exactly. I'd prefer an old divot. I don't know what this is, if it's a partially not quite fully repaired divot or just a deep depression, but it sure is sitting down, and I think she would want to have some of that power and descending blow that Lexi naturally has to get this out and up the hill. She's going with a gap wedge, Morgan.
Yeah, this could more than likely come out a little chunky when it's sitting that far below the surface.
Oh, she caught that pretty well with minimal turf, or just the right amount of turf.
Yeah, not bad. Trapped it very well. That's going to leave an exceptionally quick putt. It may trickle back and get a little bit better. It's trying, but she played that back in her stance, really trapped it down.
Oh, now it's officially a divot hole. It has graduated.
Now it's a divot that nobody wants to find themselves in.
You become a divot hole. What comes next? Take a look at this situation from just off the green for Lilia Vu. That's her third, and a nice touch.
I feel like that's not going to be enough, but posting at 16, but you never know.
Lexi's birdied every other hole since the 10th. We'll see if she can make it 2 in a row at 14 and 15.
Well, she held the follow through of that stroke, but
she just loves this golf course, and the fans who surround it said it feels like home here for her. This is Kristen Gilman for birdie at the 17th hole to climb to 12 under.
Yeah, big weekend here for Kristen. You know, trying to secure her tour card after losing it a couple of years ago.
Now Vu to join the pack at 16 under. It's a four-way race. This is what you want. Coming out as a fan, you're getting the show that you deserve. Beautiful day in Belmont. Narin An has a long putt here, trying to get to 17 under, but more importantly, just trying to do the smart thing.
Yeah, it's going to take a heck of an effort to two-putt from nearly 80 feet away. She looked at a spot about 2/3 of the distance to the hole as a point where I think she wants to hit the putt and start letting it die. It's downhill, quite speedy, right to left break. Oh, and she underhit it by a pretty large margin.
kind of feel like you're
Actually,
look
at
putting
it.
off a cliff there, Kay, and it's, I mean, not bad for distance control, but just didn't get it anywhere near high enough.
Well, her history on this green is certainly forgettable in her mind. 3-putted it from 5 feet earlier this week, and now coming from the polar opposite situation, just trying to get down from long range. Back at the tee here at 16, we have Lexi Thompson.
And for Lexi, does not need a driver here in spite of that really heavy wind, but yesterday she did pull her tee shot left into the rough pretty close to that tree, and she wants to avoid doing that today. So, but right now we're getting some serious wind gusts on this tee, probably as strong as I felt all day.
She did have a little bit of the left coming down the stretch yesterday, Karen, but with that front hole location, so important to find the fairway here.
Evidenced by Naren on situation just a few moments ago.
There's a crosswalk sign through the end of the fairway. I think that's the kind of line that players are looking to set this ball up, because this fairway does kick down to the right. Oh, and this is quite nice.
She is so popular, not only on tour, but particularly around these parts where she won in 2015. The fans really embrace her, and they follow her in droves. If you're in this group, you've got a lot going on with people moving around. Allison Corpuz at the 16th for birdie.
She learned quite a bit from Naren On's putt, but even with that, Teach still runs it by.
And now back to the tee, it's Grace Kim.
She's got a driver out. This is going a smidge left.
Give her a bounce.
That should just skirt the bunker, and she will be just fine. Hopefully she skirts that divot of Allie Ewing. Looked like she did.
Speaking of, this for birdie, and to be the lone player at 17 under.
This is just such a difficult green and difficult putt when the hole is on the front part of the green. First time all week it's been in this position.
Oh, wow. That just went dead left on her. I mentioned how the last green was the highest putting average today, tied with this one, tied with 16, because of where that hole location is today. It's so severe, and you just have to tap it when you're above the hole.
Well, next week the PGA Tour returns to CBS. We'll be at the TPC River Highlands for a signature event with a field including defending champion Keegan Bradley against several top 10 players, including Scotty Scheffler, Xander Schauffele, and Rory McIlroy, who, by the way, in contention at the U.S. Open as we speak. That's the Travelers Championship on CBS, streaming on Paramount+. Back at the 16th, and a par putt for Naren On. You know, she had that putt earlier, Kay, that she's trying to shake off, and so far pretty good, but also has the recent memories of the 3-putt from short range here earlier in the week. So she's battling a few thoughts right now that could be pulling her in a negative direction.
Definitely, and the issue is this is such a difficult putt that she faces. It has so much right to left break. She's eyeing a spot at least 3 feet, if not more, higher than the hole to allow for the right to left curve. And Morgan, if she's not careful, she could 3-putt from this position.
Yeah, this is going, you're going to have to pick a spot on the hole that you want this to enter, and it's nearly dead sideways, Kay, right at about 3 o'clock.
These are the kind of putts that can drive you insane with this game of golf. And you just have to trust your line, trust your speed. This has a very low probability of going in. I think she's just trying to manage an easy 2-putt from this point.
that much break on a putt. It's not unusual to be tentative.
I don't know about that one, but I guess it's just her state of mind right now.
I mean, the mistake was off the tee, ending up in that rough, nearly impossible to get it close.
And this is the third for Atthaya Thitikul at the 18th. She made an eagle on 14 today. Trying to do it again. Good to see her back. She's missed some action over the last several months with an injured tendon in her left thumb, and came back at the Chevron and made her presence known immediately, contending there. Now Corpuz for par at 16.
She has managed to avoid bogeys today. This is a good place to be putting for par from, back uphill.
Good stroke. That was a must make. With running out of holes, 2 back at the moment, but still a chance for Allison.
And now similar putt ahead here for Ewing.
And all in all, if she can get this putt to go in, I think she'd be pretty pleased making par, given the unlucky result of where her drive ended up in that hole. This would be a hard-fought par 4.
Oh, wow. That was just a push. Just did not allow the face to close. Coming through, started that right of where she was looking. That is a gift. Let's take another look at it here. Her line was set up much closer. Was not set up outside the hole. We'll put it that way.
Just did not look like a confident stroke at all. After all those clutch par putts she's made earlier in the round, that was a surprise to say the least. And up ahead at the 18th, Thitikul for birdie to get to 12 under. And another solid week for a woman who is a top 10 staple on the LPGA Tour. Third-year veteran, just 21 years old. And back to Lexi at the 16th, giving a good look here, Karen, to the second shot.
Only was color. Do we have that for
Yeah.
Fixing a little bit from the right as well. 29 right to left. You've got no touch up it, okay? Yeah, I mean, I think I have to chip this. I don't think the whole next one. You know?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Just going uphill, my ball usually goes short.
Okay,
in the air, you know?
Well, that's good then. I would kind of need that. So, okay. You got it?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Good tempo, like right to left.
She's got 120
Good
yards.
feel.
And general feel is that the wind is going from right to left, but there's just a hint of help in this, I think, too, from this angle. She's got a wedge out. Does have a slight upslope.
Gosh, there's a new caddy on the bag this week, Mark Wallington, who Lexi said has been super positive and feels like that's really helped her. And there you heard her say, my ball tends to go a little bit shorter up the hill. So even still trying to work through for him to learn her game and how she plays. That's going to funnel back. Didn't go all the way back down. Left it below the hole. Be a chip upcoming.
Yeah, missed opportunity there, but yes, below the hole is certainly a safer place to be. Corpuz now with driver in hand.
It's a difficult task on this hole, but I think Allison's got to be in the mindset to finish birdie. 18 is a easy birdie hole. This hole, very difficult to make a 3 on, but it starts with a good drive.
Yeah, there have been 6 threes today. on 17 so far.
Well, you can hit a good tee shot like that and then have a little bit of a funky kick through into the rough, but that'll be a decent angle.
Yeah, with that tee moved up, that's the target line from the back tee, but from the up tee, got to hug a little bit further up the right side.
I think it's just
now
a
the second for Anna Nordquist at 16.
You like it? Yeah, commit to it.
Really good look here.
And she's got a wedge in her hand from 109. Ball is, it's actually a pretty flat line. At first I thought it might be a little bit below her feet, but not at all. This is flat. The wind is directly off the right for Anna.
I mean, it's crazy, Karen, how a hole where players have a wedge in their hand is playing as the second hardest hole on this golf course. But because of this hole location, lovely shot right there. Similar putt to the one Lilia Vu made for birdie on her way to a 65.
It's interesting. Grace Kim, I mentioned, still very young. As we take a look at our insights by KPMG, a force in greens and regulation this week. Strokes gained total per round in her birdie or better percentage, 35.2. A lot of that coming in the early stages of the event. And not as many birdies these last, well, today in particular. Yesterday was another solid day for her. She's playing alongside a couple of major champions, a couple of very popular players with the crowds, and it's a lot to think about.
That's from 97 yards.
She just tried to hit a soft one there. You could see that finish. That's going to leave that putt straight down the hill. It's going to be a tough one.
Grace Kim had a 5-shot lead at the beginning of the day, and now trying to get the lead back. Back here at the 16th, and the third shot now for Lexi Thompson.
Got the putter up, and I feel quite good about putting it from this point. It would be a pretty awkward stance for a chip because it's got a little downslope behind her that would impact the way she wanted to chip this. It's uphill all the way to the hole. Should move left as well.
Maybe a similar putt, actually, to the one we just saw Allie Ewing miss. Maybe a little bit longer.
I can't imagine she's too happy with that putt.
So left it below the hole. The one thing she didn't want was a 3 or 4 footer down the hill for par here.
We'll keep it here with this marquee grouping today, the final group of Lexi Thompson, Anna Nordquist, and Grace Kim. Kim, a 4-time recipient of the Kari Webb Scholarship in her native Australia. No one's had that many honors with that scholarship. She was prominent as an amateur, winning practically everything down under. And a winner last year on the LPGA Tour for the first time at the Lotte Championship on the island of Oahu. She has the pedigree, but she did stumble a couple of months ago in LA with a 4-shot 36-hole lead, only to come back and carve out the largest 54-hole lead this year on the LPGA Tour, Karen. So you know, she's got the chops.
She does, and sometimes when you put yourself in that position and you kind of see that a lead fritter away, you can kind of put some of those feelings and memories that you had from what happened what happened there in LA, and use them to your advantage when you get in situations like this that she knows, or certainly her caddy knows, is very tight now at the top of the leaderboard for her. And right now this putt is going to be very slippery, Morgan, downhill. She's got to barely touch this one.
Yeah, this one can get away from you very quickly. You can see her taking her time, really trying to pick a spot, and maybe a little blustery too, things falling in her line. But Kelly, you mentioned the Kari Webb Scholarship, the Grace, and so many other young Australian players have received. It's amazing what Kari has done for Australian women's golf. I feel like there's really been a tremendous resurgence. Certainly she is not only an inspiration, but also a mentor to all of these young players. And that just turned dead sideways there in the middle of the putt, Karen.
Now the second for Allie Ewing.
From the left rough, 8-iron in hand, has to play this right of the flag to the fat part of the green. Downhill, but into the wind, very difficult to judge.
Yeah, just can't control it. We've seen it time and time again this week. The greens are firm, and it's really hard to control coming out of the rough.
She's off the green right at 17. We are at the 18th now, and Kristen Gilman, this to get to 13 under. Yes, she does.
Nothing like hearing that roar. Big crowd is gathered here around the 18th, and a lot of energy and excitement and great confidence heading into a big week next week, the KPMG Women's PGA Championship.
And now Karen, Anna Nordqvist was trying to pay off that beautiful tee shot and second shot into this 16th hole.
And this is a very awkward putt. It's going to break quite heavily to the right. So one of the things that she needs to do is make sure that she commits to her line. And I actually think that the lines that you can see on the green that are from the drainage, that haven't quite healed but roll very smoothly, will help her stick to the line here. It seems to be that she can go parallel to where that line is, and it would be perfect for her.
Almost like there's a training aid there, Karen. Good looking stroke. Just barely too much pace. But that was a very good stroke. Kept it right. Look at how that ball rolled end over end. Just a fraction too hard.
Up the 17th, second for On.
Golden opportunity for her to get one inside 15 feet or so. Just a slight downhill lie, 9-iron in hand, only 118 yards to the hole, playing it a little bit longer. Little low trajectory shot.
Yeah, it's impossible to get it close to this hole with a low trajectory shot. That only about 5 paces over the edge of the green there.
Back at the 16th, this is for par for Lexi.
And you would think this would move to the left. I don't think it does as much as you think, given the way her putt rolled to this point and the way Grace has stayed out to the left as well.
Nearly straight back up the hill. Allie missed it on the right side.
So good, and so important with all of her strength, and that par 5 18th still ahead. That is a must make.
A really good looking stroke there on an all important putt to keep Lexi in the mix.
You'd have thought we'd see someone to 17 under by now, but a few more nerves showing down the stretch for some of these contenders. You have to wonder if Lilia Vu has done enough to potentially force a playoff.
We've seen a lot of crazy things this year on the LPGA Tour, so you never know. There's still some golf left to play, Karen.
Oh, without a doubt, when you think about last week. I mean, player shoots a 60 and ends up winning in the final round. I mean, just crazy stuff.
We've seen some low numbers at this event and here this week as well, but the more blustery conditions maybe have held off those extremely low numbers today. So players perhaps just a little more on edge with the elements coming into play. Par putt here for Kim. Well, Kim holding steady at 16 under. It's a two-way tie at the top. We are back with Naren on at the 17th, trying to get back into this tie for the lead.
Although this is close to a 30-footer, it is makeable. Putting slightly downhill initially, then flattening out as it gets closer to the hole.
Yeah, it looked like it took a little bobble early.
Oh, and that comes up well short, Morgan. Not a gimme by any means.
Yeah, that little hop right off the putter face definitely took some speed off of it.
I mean, if you come down a little bit left of it on that straight, yeah. Coming down on it, yeah.
The tree just off the lead next way.
Well, if you come down the orange, it should be just across. I don't like doing the orange down there. More target.
Lexi and Mark sizing things up here at the 17th, Karen.
Absolutely, Kelly, and the wind is moving to the left, so we'll push the ball towards that left side. This fairway dog legs round to the right, but you want to make sure that you take enough club to get round the corner of the dog leg. If you end up too far down the right, you can be blocked out by the trees. Typically a shot down the left side is probably more favorable, but with the bunkers, that very fast, small little pot-looking bunker down that left side does come into play. You do have to hit a very precise tee shot here.
Tee moved up a little bit today. Lexi going with driver, sending it over those trees on the right. Is it drawing back?
Sure did.
What a bounce.
Good line, right?
Mark said good line. She said he was positive. Not so sure, but it worked out. And she might not quite be able to see it. She may have just heard the crowd's reaction. Some applause there.
Birdied it yesterday and looking pretty poised to perhaps do that again. And now Allie Ewing with another lengthy par putt.
Kelly, it was yesterday, the last 4 holes, Allie just let a couple of silly shots get away from her. She 3-putt 15 for bogey, and then she missed the green here with a wedge in her hand, made bogey, and didn't birdie the 18th, and that was really 3 shots difference. In danger of making bogey again here.
And not enough, just a little salt in that wound, not to get it to the hole. She made 4 birdies in a row on holes 3 through 6 today. Also birdied a couple of hole laters to go 5 of 6 and is 3 over par since then. Back on the tee, Grace Kim.
This is a good looking strike. Signal from the volunteers is that it's straight down the middle.
Yeah, way down there. Ball a little bit to the right with the slope. Gets it out there past Lexi's tee shot.
And up on the green, we have on for par.
And she got a good look off of Allie's putt, knowing that this is not that fast. She can go ahead and hit it. Maybe keep it inside right edge.
Really solid stroke there, especially considering what we've seen from her. The last couple holes, she's had a couple of really good strokes.
Well, getting a look at what kind of fireworks the 18th hole can offer. Ryan O'Toole here has this look at eagle. Oh, let her in. Unfortunate. Easy birdie. O'Toole finishing up the week at 12 under. And a good showing. Our coverage continues in the Midwest on a beautiful sunny day. Lilia Vu in the house with a 65, waiting to see what these other contenders are going to do. It's all about balance down the stretch. Celebrating 10 years of excellence, the Meijer LPGA Classic for Simply Give. Born in 2014, and we are getting quite the show here a decade later. Lilia Vu posted the round of the day and waits at 16 under to see if there will be perhaps a playoff, or will she be surpassed by one of these talents in the field. Happy Father's Day to all once again as we go back to the 18th tee and catch up with Narin on.
Well, all these players know what they need to do. Narin with driver, wind helping right to left, this going left.
Left, you can get blocked out, have some tree trouble over there. Knowing she needs at least a birdie here, that's going to make the task more difficult.
And what's ahead here for Anna Nordqvist?
Well, she's blocked out by the trees, so that's a little bit of an issue. She's got some thick rough that she's going to have to deal with. She's only got 119 to the hole, but it looks like she's going to try and hit some kind of a cut, but that's going to be difficult from that thick grass.
Just kind of open up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, not be too cute with it, right?
No, you still need to be there. I mean, you want to be kind of starting it just right with that TV tower. If it comes out straight into the numbers, you're going to be fine. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Okay.
The other thing too, Morgan, is getting any kind of movement from such a short range is very difficult as well. So she's got a lot working against her, and if she can catch even just the tiniest piece of the left half of the green, that would be a huge victory for her.
They said don't want to get too cute with it. Make sure to take your medicine. Trying to finesse something to the right there, but Karen, just like you said, it's not only short distance but also out of the rough. Really hard to get the ball to cut out of that lie.
Wow, and that's a double stress fracture there with that next shot. She'll be facing short-sided in the deep bluegrass rough. Lexi Thompson from 106.
I mean, the difficulty. The difficulty here for Lexi is the fact that the wind is very gusty into her right now, and every once in a while it'll pick up 5 to 10 miles per hour, which it has just literally done. She's got a slight downslope, which is going to be helpful to her to keep the trajectory of the shot down. Just waiting for that gust to pass.
It's just going to make it difficult to get it close, Karen, because there's not much space over the edge of the green. Only about 5 paces over that bunker to the hole location.
It's one of those flags that you think, oh, I want to be aggressive to it, but you know that there's not, as you were saying, not much room there, so you might want to go just a hair right of it. Trying to work this to the left a bit, but as suspected, out to the right.
Yeah, she was able to get more spin on that than we've seen anybody else today.
She has a great look there, and what she told us a few weeks ago is her swan song full-time season on the LPGA Tour. She is going to take a reprieve from the game of golf and work on her life balance. Wants to take some time for herself and is fully embracing every shot, every fan, every round of golf in this process. She hopes to finish with a big bang and make the Solheim Cup team. Grace Kim, this will be from 102.
It's a very similar lie to Lexi. Might be a little bit below her feet. And she has a wedge out. I think you've got to really try and control the trajectory here.
It's a 3-4-1 nice flight too.
We're getting moments where the wind's 15, and next thing you know, it's 20. This looks pretty good.
Big shot here for Grace. Really well done. Think about the roller coaster of a day that she has had, and she has hung tough, losing her 5-shot lead in the first 4 holes.
When she won the Lotte, though, she did come from behind in that final round. Perhaps she had a chance to redirect her mind to that particular victory and say, all right, I'm behind now. Let's see if I can do that again. Well, it all comes down to the 18th for Allie Ewing. Can she do something magical? This is her second.
Yeah, she needs to eagle this hole, can get on the green in 2 with that drive.
Might scoot up there. We have seen one putt made from there earlier today. Maria Fossey made that for eagle, but a must make there for Allie.
And now the second for On, way left off the tee.
Yeah, just trying to punch it back out into the fairway, but does not get it through the primary rough, and that is not a good leave.
Well, it takes a killer to catch a killer in the new season of Criminal Minds Evolution, now streaming exclusively on Paramount Plus. Visit ParamountPlus.com to try it free. Oh, that music perhaps a little more fitting for Naren On's situation, but Lexi with a chance here to get to 16 under par with the par 5 18th still ahead.
And she's made some good putts today from this range. And this is downhill. It's going to move to the left. She doesn't have to work too hard to get the ball to the hole.
Just a few revolutions short. Looks like she had a pretty good line there, Karen. But in this situation, you kind of feel like you gotta get it to the hole, gotta give it a chance.
And now we will go up and watch the third shot of On at the 18th.
She actually has a shot. The lie is not terrible in the primary, but with this right hole location, coming out of the rough, 151 yards left, right to left wind, not going to be easy, and she's pushed that.
Yeah, this rough has been her downfall. Poor tee shot here, poor tee shot on 16.
In a must birdie situation, her back is firmly against the wall. This will be the third for Allison Corpuz.
And stranger things have happened in the game, looking to dunk this shot from the fairway. She has a very consistent routine, kind of an old school, line it up and have a full swing inside the ball. Ball striking's generally been really good this week. She's pulled that, and the wind will exaggerate that a little more to the left.
So Lilia Vu dodges one more.
Who wants it? Perhaps Grace Kim, who saw that 5-shot lead with which she began the day evaporate in just a matter of 4 holes, but still has a chance to do this.
And
for the outright lead.
And Kelly, I think that what that tells you about is that you can't, you know, no matter what stage and no matter what kind of start you have, you've got to be patient. You've got to keep playing your game, because you never know how things are going to shake out as you come to the final few holes. She has a good idea on what this putt's going to do. She watched very closely Lexi's putt.
Like a good stroke. She kept her head down, looked solid. Almost looked over to Drew as if to say, that didn't break.
Let's take a look from a different angle, much better view to see what you're talking about, Morgan.
Playing it to break a fraction left, and almost looked like it wiggled right there. What, about 3 or 4 feet short of the hole? Just to keep things interesting, Karen.
It certainly does, with the par 5 coming up, that's reachable.
I have been impressed with the way that she has battled back from there. You see such a shaky start. She's looked very solid on this back 9 when some of the other leaders have given shots back to the field. Didn't seem to let the loss of that 5-shot lead affect her mentally, which you can really feel deflated. And he's standing on the 5th tee box and know that it's all gone.
Well, it really has come down to these top 4 players you see here on this leaderboard. Allie Ewing needed to hole out to have a chance to force a playoff, and she was unable to do that. Narin on now has real trouble here, needs the 4, and is in a very precarious spot. The percentages here are practically 0, but look, we've seen some funny things happen over the course of time.
Well, the good news is it's all closely mown, and she doesn't have to deal with an extremely steep incline to the hole. She went up to the edge of the green and kind of even read the slope and what the ball will do once it gets onto the green. Decent lie out of the primary.
Took that first hop straight up in the air. Took all the steam off of it.
Back on the tee, Lexi hoping to feast on this par 5.
Well, and this is an interesting tee shot for Lexi. The bunker that is down there, that is staring right in the player's face, right in the landing zone for a lot of players. I think if Lexi gets hold of a good one with this wind direction, she can certainly carry the left half of it, if not all of it.
She missed it well left yesterday, Karen.
Oh, this is going over that left half of it, so if it's, she looks like she struck it well enough.
Just gonna run through into the left rough.
Good lie, though.
She is just loving it. She is loving the fan support that she has gotten all week out here in Grand Rapids.
Yeah, just a quick correction. I mentioned Ewing. I meant to say Corpuz. So Ewing is on board at the 18th and has this chance for eagle, an outside shot to become a part of the story, the big story.
She sure does, and probably the challenge here is to ensure that she hits this firm enough to give it a legit chance without almost trying too hard and trying to hit it too firmly. Allow that good stroke to happen.
There's no doubt she knows exactly where she stands and what she needs to do. What a valiant effort, Kay.
Wow, that looked so good for so long.
Yeah, that had to look really good from her angle too, just on the low edge, but gave it a really good look. And the crowd was willing that in the hole. The crowd wants to see some more golf.
Back at the tee, Grace Kim set to play.
Well,
this was just a moment ago.
Not using driver here, Kelly, and still has to keep it left of that bunker, because if the wind doesn't catch it, that's where it ends up.
Oh, what an interesting play, Karen. Electing to not use the driver and still drives it into trouble.
And now a birdie opportunity for Allison Corpuz, trying to improve on her standing. She too nearly picks the lock. But those are no easy putts coming back. Okay.
No, but I like the effort. I like the aggressiveness. And for Allison, even though she's not going to win this week, it's nice to see her back in the hunt.
No doubt. Lilia Vu just keeping things warm, just in case.
I'm just going back to that tee shot from Grace. I understand that 18 is an awkward tee shot, the angle that it sits at, just over 50% of the field hitting that fairway in regulation today, but she opted to lay back off the tee. If you're going to lay back. And now, I mean, needing birdie to win, she's going to have her work cut out for her.
Lilia Vu finished at 2:42 local time, so just under an hour ago, and has been watching to see if anyone can catch her or pass her. And now Grace Kim in a spot of bother on the 18th hole, as we now catch up with On for par.
And I think we've seen that On has the ingredients to win out here. She's had 3 times she's finished third. Her mentor is Na Yeon Choi, who has won 9 times out here, including the 2012 U.S. Women's Open. So it's a shame things didn't work out for her down the stretch, but I look for good things out of Na Renan the rest of the year.
Yeah, some very loose swings when it mattered most on this back nine, but a lot to pull from this week. Na Renan posted at 14 under. We'll see what Grace Kim can do in trouble off the tee at 18. Lexi Thompson also hoping to pounce as Lilia Vu continues to wait. We're back with the all-important second shot for Grace Kim at the home hole.
Really awkward stance here, ball well below her feet. Can't get to the green from here at all. So just trying to play it out. And this is going just a bit left.
Oh no, is that still behind that tree? Goodness.
Up ahead, this is Allie Ewing to finish the week at 15 under. She looked back at a couple of mistakes on this back nine, left herself a lot of long par putts and unable to capitalize on one that was so important down the stretch, but a solid week nonetheless. Lilia Vu, that is her mother, sitting behind her, watching her hit balls, waiting to see if she will be able to get into a playoff or perhaps be a solo winner. That is still in play.
I mean, when she finished, I didn't think 16 would be enough, but nobody else has really taken charge, and we've seen quite a few mistakes coming down the stretch.
Well, the whole location's working for her on this side, Karen.
It is, for sure. And the lie's a little bit fluffy, but I can see a lot of the ball from here, so I don't think getting a good strike on this is going to be hard. She's got 170 to the front, 182 to the hole. And I am 100% certain that Lexi has eagled this hole before in all those years of playing here and all those many under pars that she's had around this golf course.
No time like this to take advantage of a par 5.
Oh, they like it. Just a bit much, perhaps some adrenaline in that golf swing, or maybe it was the lie, but just over the green.
Oh, they're being such a good lie. Almost looked like it jumped on her a little bit, Karen, but a good swing.
I think it did, Morgan. It was just, it was fluffy, but it was sitting up okay.
Look at her energy walking after that shot. She is feeling it in the moment.
I mean, could you imagine her getting this victory so soon after telling the sports world that she was going to call it a career and retire from full-time golf? It would be a dream come true for her in a place where she has won before. She is a major champion, so too is Lilia Vu, twice a major champion last year.
I think it shows just, you know, she's been thinking about it for a while, and to finally make that decision and have peace with it. You find some more peace within yourself on the golf course. And she's talked about trying to be kinder to herself, not take it so seriously, really enjoy the remainder of this year. And she said all week, there's not really anywhere she likes to play more than right here in this great community.
Karen, what's happening here with Grace Kim in her third?
Well, I think she's just standing on that sprinkler head, and I think most players know what relief you get from a sprinkler head, but I think in these circumstances, I think knowing what's on the line, you just have to, she's just being extra cautious, and she's just asked for a rules official to come over just to oversee the relief from that sprinkler head. That's it's on her right heel is where the sprinkler head will be placed, so you obviously get relief from that.
Yeah, she could move it into the fairway, Karen.
We got
That's her nearest point, Morgan, yeah.
Just let you take a look, just so there's no. I got you. Yeah, no, exactly. Yep. Take a step back for something. Kind of see where the rest of the is. You want to take your stance again? Yeah, I think we're on it. Yep. Yep. I'm going to take your stance again so I can figure out. You just put it right there.
Okay, so discussion done and all understood and good.
Right, yeah, I think we're good there. So your point's really just behind it. Yep. And you get a club length that ends up in the short grass. Yep.
Wow, what a nice break for Grace Kim, and some smart teamwork to bring the official and get him involved.
Now this is a huge break right here, Karen. Now in the fairway, big difference as we've seen all week.
Yes, because from here, I mean, not only from the fairway, but it kind of really opens everything up to that whole location as well. You know, no overhanging branches, no rough to deal with, and she can really control this shot a lot easier from where she is now.
That's my kind of swirl. Like I'm looking at that side up there.
What does it do for your confidence and your strategy to get a break like that, Morgan?
Well, now you've got a wedge. You're going to take dead aim. It does seem quite blustery right now, Karen.
It really is.
Yeah, I mean, just when you want to start at it, I'm good with right at it. Then it's just left. Yeah, I mean, I almost think it's
Just trying to...
Right at it. Finish it just left.
So, wind off the right, 114 to the hole, and she's going to aim right at it, and let the wind drift it just a little bit left.
It's still good. Just trust it.
Good last words from Drew there. Just trust it. That's all you can do, Morgan, right here. Be committed.
Even coming out of the fairway, not able to get that to stop. That surprised me. She wasn't able to get more spin on that one.
Well, after taking all that time, still work to do. Back on the par 5 18th, and this is Lexi Thompson's third from off the back of the green.
And has some kind of a wedge out here. Not got the putter out. And I think the general consensus of opinion is that when a player pulls out something to chip with rather than putt from off the green, that they're planning on trying to make this shot. From where she is, it is all downhill towards the hole. It should kick a little left, which is another advantage to chipping, is that you can take out some of that break and some of that downslope.
She does very often like to putt this type of a shot, Karen. I'm a bit surprised. Is there something in her way, like a sprinkler head maybe?
No, I just think it's the uncertainty of having to putt uphill through the fairway height of grass. Then the ball's going to hit the speed slot on the green as it goes downhill towards the hole, plus a bit of left turn. I think by chipping it, you take out a lot of all that kind of feely guesswork that you need to play the putt well from this spot. I think she wants to go ahead and win this outright by chipping in.
Yeah, this golf course is in wonderful shape. It's like chipping off carpet, especially with a little bit of an upslope here. Oh my gosh, Karen, she almost did. Wow.
Well, a brilliant setup, Karen. You were spot on. She had eyes for the cup.
I can't quite figure out how that didn't take one more revolution and fall in. What a wonderful shot in that moment with all the pressure, knowing what she has to do. The ball is still in Grace's court, but Lexi, what a finish.
Fans are getting what they want. They have been rooting her on the entire week. And for most of her career at the Meijer LPGA Classic. Watch this one more time. It just puts the brakes on.
And her reaction, look at this. She feels like it's in, it's in. Oh, this place would have absolutely erupted had that fallen in.
Well, Lily Vu can not only hear it, but they're also keeping an eye on this show on the 18th hole. You can actually hear some of the commentary from just a few moments ago on her phone. So, you know, it's that technology today, keeping everyone connected. Now, Grace Kim setting up for this putt for the victory. Oh, that too, just a little short, slightly offline. It's a very respectable putt as we now have, after this tap in, 3 at 16 under.
Just an unfortunate mistake for Grace there off the tee in that bunker, forced to lay up. But I mean, a three-way playoff. This crowd wants some more golf. They're going to get it.
We're getting a bonus in Belmont. Anna Nordquist has a birdie putt.
And this one's just going to move left.
Go back up to 18.
It's downhill initially, but then the final foot or so, the pole is tilted towards her, so slow up, as we saw with both Lexi's and Grace's shots.
Anna will be disappointed in her finish here today, Karen, but should be able to take a lot of confidence heading into a major championship next week. You'd think with her ball striking and her accuracy, a golf course like Sahalee would be really good for Anna Nordquist.
I mean, you hit the nail on the head with accuracy. I think you almost need to go on a diet to walk down the fairways at Sahalee, so it should set up well for her, and as you said, be able to take the confidence from this week into it.
That was a good one, Karen. I like that.
Never had it. Anna Nordquist, 9 times an LPGA Tour winner, a multiple major champion. Fixture on European Solheim Cup teams. Really doesn't have much left to prove in this game. Really nothing to prove to anyone. But it is an American Solheim Cup star that is getting all the love right now. Take another look at this magnificent touch by Lexi Thompson in full green light mode, going for the victory on the pitch shot. Perhaps it's that end of day effect, Morgan, when all the players step up close to the hole to pull the ball out. You get that little ridge right around the edge of the cup. Maybe that's what kept it out. It really looked like it was going to drop. Lilia Vu, she's been waiting since 2:42 local time for what is now a three-way playoff. A couple of major champions and a 23-year-old Australian in Grace Kim. Keep it right here. The Meijer LPGA Classic for Simply Give is sponsored by Meijer. When we compete, we help feed neighbors in need. We have a three-way tie at the end of the 72-hole portion of this race. We're going extra holes, folks. The playoff holes for Lilia Vu, Lexi Thompson, and Grace Kim begin on the 18th, the par 5. If we don't have a winner there, we'll play it one more time. And if it's still not decided, holes 4 and 5 will come into play. Lilia Vu's been waiting around for almost an hour and a half. And Lexi Thompson finished with a bang, nearly holing out for the lone victory. And Grace Kim just kind of steadied what was a very turbulent ride at the start of this final round. She began the day with a 5-shot lead. Kelly Tillman alongside a major champion in Morgan Pressel. They came here in very different ways. Lilia Vu waiting with the best round of the day, 7 under. Lexi Thompson hot off of a red-hot finish. And then you have Grace Kim. We don't know which way she's going to go. What do you make of this dynamic?
Well, I mean, you look at how the start of the day. Grace Kim started the day with a 5-shot lead, and that was gone by the time she stepped on the 5th tee box. And the way that she battled herself back to put her in this position to not give up on herself and continue to fight the entire way around. You have Lilia Vu coming back, her first event back in a couple of months, nursing a back injury. I've talked to her coach. She's worked very hard on her body to get her back in this position. And gosh, this would have to be more than she had dreamed in her first event back, not showing any signs of rust, excuse me, looking like the player of the year of last year. And then Lexi, of course, with that incredible performance yesterday, loves playing here in Grand Rapids and putting on quite a show here, especially there. They're on 18.
Do you like the player coming off the momentum like Lexi, or do you like the player who's just trying to, you know, continue what really finished off a steady round of golf in Kim, or Lilia Vu, who's had rest and separation from that big round?
Yeah, I'd be interested to see, hopefully, the cool down and then re-warm back up for Lilia. Doesn't do anything. You think of somebody with a back injury that could have an effect on her. Hopefully it doesn't, but I mean, Lilia, of course, had the best round of the day out there, so is feeling the most confident. But I think that both Lexi and Grace have a lot to take from the way that they played down the stretch. Lexi got off to a slow start today as well, but never gave up.
I just want to remind you, Grace Kim does have a tour victory. It came last year at the Lotte Championship on Oahu, and it did come in the form of a playoff. She came from behind to force that playoff and got it done on the first hole with a final round 68. Meanwhile, Lilia Vu is 1-1 in playoff situations. The stout resume that she has that includes a couple of major championships, and also Lexi Thompson, you know, she has won here at the Meijer. She is a proven champion, 11 wins and a major on her resume. However, she really struggles in playoffs, 0-4 over the course of her tour career. So, you know, this really could go anyway.
Yeah, if you look at the holes that they're playing this par 5 18th, potentially twice, and then moving to the par 4 4th. If we still need some more holes to determine a champion, that certainly plays in Lexi's favor, being the long bomber that she is. But Lilia, I mean, who could forget her incredible playoff victory to win her first major championship last year at the Chevron Championship in very dramatic fashion.
You really can't overstate this return, though. You talked about it just a moment ago, Morgan. I mean, she wanted to come back at the U.S. Women's Open at Lancaster Country Club, but just didn't feel it was quite the right time. So she decided to pass on a chance to play in a major championship and waited until this week. And it sure looks like it was the right decision. She looks fresh, and I'm sure she's pacing herself. She said breathing and a lot of slowing things down. Her athletic routine has been a big help in keeping her energy levels up and keeping the back pain at a low.
I'd say one thing that you really never hear an athlete say is that they waited too long to come back from an injury. Usually it's the other way around.
And then 4-5-18, 4-5-18 as needed, okay?
Yeah.
The order is based on the tee times today, so Lily, you'll go first, Grace second, Lexi third. Okay? Good luck. Thank you.
So there you have it. We'll see how Lilia Vu strikes this first tee shot.
Kelly, I was up watching her on the practice tee, and she had a nice loose approach to her warm-up and just hitting some good shots, good solid swings. I got to think for her, she feels like this is a huge bonus. I mean, she went out and got the job done, shot 65, no bogeys, and she is such a competitor. She's probably just delighted to be out here and have a chance to win this tournament.
4-time LPGA Tour winner, 2 times a major champ.
Taking this driver down the center with a draw.
seen so many players run out through that left side. Just a tough fairway to hit. The way the wind is off the right today, that bunker that looms on the right side, most players not able to take it over that bunker.
Karen, what is the club of choice here after what happened to her the last time around, finding that fairway bunker?
I think it's the same one, but I think her plan first time round was to not actually go towards the bunker, but it was to stop her running through the fairway as Lilia Vu's shot has just done. I think this was always to be left of the bunker. It's a quick tee pickup. And that was what she was planning first time round.
Yeah, that'll be just fine.
Well, holding back is not usually part of Lexi Thompson's language. She likes to go for things, and looks like she's going to try to bite up as much of this par 5 yardage as possible.
Well, she's got a good look at it from the first time round in regulation. She can carry that bunker, which is a huge advantage. I mean, you'd rather carry it on the left half of it because that's slightly less than carrying it all over the right side. But she won't be afraid to let this one rip.
Taking it dangerously up the right, but no problem. Okay, kind of an unlucky kick across the fairway, actually.
Looks like a decent lie advantage, Lexi Thompson for the moment. But all that distance, playoffs off and running at the Meijer LPGA Classic. Big opportunity for Lexi Thompson, who just announced that this is her last full season on the LPGA Tour in her storied career, to perhaps get a victory. Would be the 12th for her, and 12 is the age that we remember her bursting onto the scene, qualifying for a U.S. Women's Open. Going on to win on tour as a teenager. I feel like we've watched her grow up. Now in this playoff with Lilia Vu and Grace Kim, this is the situation for Lilia Vu.
She's going to have some tree trouble. The whole location on the right and the slightly bare lie are both going to work in her favor, but
officer. Sir.
Well, by how far these tee shots went, some common sense would tell you that Grace Kim will be first to play.
Hold the car, please.
Much better situation for her, Karen, than last time around on this hole.
No question. She has I mean, this is great position for her. She's got 208 to the front, 220 to the hole. I mean, a great lie in the fairway. The wind is off the right, so I think her line should be at the flag. And then just it falling just a bit to the left. She has pulled a couple of these today, but so far on this back nine, she's been much better with her ball striking, and this is a good strike. It's a good looking shot.
Get up. Great shot.
Beautiful swing. It's definitely a different mentality in a playoff. You switch to real offense mode.
I mean, you can just turn it over as much as you can. You almost can't turn it over enough. I mean, the end of that white fence is 77, so, and even if all you gotta do is land left of that
So it's
fence.
hard off the right.
Yeah, hard inches off the right. I mean, are you comfortable doing it? Yeah, then absolutely, just like with that little umbrella. Okay. A little flighted feeling even. Just trust it and pull it. Commit it.
This is a really good lie. It's a level lie. Like you said, it's a bit dried out, rough. So it's just like hitting it off a good tight lie. I think she's got plenty to clear the tree. Sent that pretty far right. Yeah, a little further right than she wanted. Had the draw, but started it too far to the right.
Tough going here for the former #1 golfer in the world. Now let's get back to Lexi. The line looks pretty decent, Karen.
It is. I think it's actually slightly better than the last time she was in the rough. I can see more of the ball this time. She's got 164 to the front, 176 hole. Very similar yardage as well.
And likely learned, Morgan, from the way the ball reacted last time, getting real hot going through the green.
Yeah, last time she landed it close to hole high. This time, Karen needs to land it right about on the front edge.
Yeah, there's a little upslope there that you can pitch it into that will take some of that speed out of it. Haven't had a signal from Mark Wallington, her caddy, as to what club, but 164 to the front. This is either a 7. That would be my guess. Might even be the 8 because of the adrenaline.
Had a good look there. It was the 7-iron. Karen just run through the green. Maybe hang on there. A little bit of a pull, maybe the rough turning the club over just ever so slightly, but a lengthy putt for eagle.
Well, they love her around here. She's been hearing chants of Lexi all day. Grace Kim, what a story this would be. Losing a significant 36-hole lead just a matter of weeks ago, and now carving out the largest 54-hole lead of this season so far, only to see it fritter away in just 4 holes, and now has a chance to redeem herself. Said she learned a lot from what happened in LA, and Lilia Vu coming off of injury and a lengthy layoff where she lost the #1 spot to Nelly Korda, who went on a tear. Struck her last competitive shot before the playoff shortly after 2:30. That's a lot to think about. Conserving energy when energy is a hard thing to come by coming off of energy of an injury.
And you have a lot of adrenaline coming from the round that you played, then some time to decompress and get thrown right back out in this really fun energy here at the Meijer Classic. Always has been. Wonderful support from the community in this 10th year. Listen to this ovation for Lexi.
Well, for those expecting to see the NWSL match between Seattle Reign and Portland Thorns, it's now available on CBSSports.com and the CBS Sports app. So head there. We will get you out to that as soon as we are done here with this little thriller here in Belmont, Michigan.
Put it down, Lexi, let's go!
Yeah, I just really see this like 2 or 3 hopping on. It's okay if we roll a little fast. See your flight.
Okay, what's ahead?
Not that bad of a lie. The grass is sort of growing width across the ball. 15 paces to the edge of the green.
Oh, not a bad lead. Left it a little bit below the hole. Good shot. Imagine she has to at least make that. Still might not be enough with her opponents both having eagle opportunities.
And Karen, how about for Lexi?
Well, this is from long range. It is all downhill all the way to the hole. And it's got the feel that it can run away from you very quickly once the ball gets to the hole. It's going to be quite difficult to get the right speed and to even get the ball to the hole. You can see she's looking at a spot, 15 feet away from it, where she expects the ball to take the final turn in towards the hole from the left.
Karen, that's what she said she's really been working on this week. I mean, yesterday made over 100 feet of putt. She said, I'm trying to pinpoint a spot on the green where I want to roll the ball and visualize the line as it heads towards the hole. And I love what she did there, really trying to pick that spot in the middle. Mark really involved.
As he has been all week. And I do think that, I mean, you said it today as well. He talks to her constantly, keeps her mind occupied. It doesn't let her sit and think about things too much because he's always talking to her. And I always think that's kind of key for players, because if they're a little nervous, you need something to take your mind off what's going on. And I think he's done a great job of that for her this week.
Yeah, it's worth repeating. This is his first week on the bag with her. She brought him on to enjoy the experience, not so much get too cerebral. Now they have a chance at victory.
Good call, Karen. It'd be tough to get that to the hole. It looked like it hopped just a little bit coming out of that fringe.
And now, look where she finds herself. What a ride Grace Kim has had today. And in the last several weeks, this would be the full circle moment for her if she can knock this in.
Initially, this putt is uphill. And then once it gets about 3 feet from the hole, it will flatten out. So Drew Ernst giving her the line there so she can focus on hitting it over that spot too.
Second putt that she's had today to win this tournament.
Whoa. Well, you have to admire that she didn't leave it short, but I'm not too sure that's what she had in mind. That's a good 3 feet.
The reason why it didn't break, she missed the first one a little bit low coming from the other direction, so played too much break there. And Lexi and Lilia breathe a bit of a sigh of relief here.
There's no doubt about it, Morgan, that is exactly what goes through a player's mind. You almost say to yourself, just give me a chance to make my putt. Just give me the chance. And Lexi has that chance.
It's even a little further than I thought it was, Karen. Looks like 10, 12 feet.
It's not an easy range to make.
She can't expect the other two to miss. She has to make this putt.
Count it. Clutch putt by Lexi Thompson.
That was superb. She knew she needed to make it. This club, she changed her grip coming in to this week. No longer putting with the claw. You see a more conventional type grip. And it has paid off this week.
There is something about this place that really brings out the best in Lexi. It's perhaps the setup of the golf course that has a layout where you can be aggressive and feast on the par fives. Lilia Vu seems to like this place as well.
Lilia has been an elite level player at every level. She already has 2 major championships under her belt. She's a great match player, and if she's been preparing herself properly, she was already thinking about making this putt no matter what anyone else does. You just got to focus on your own game and get it in for birdie.
Shouldn't be a lot of break in this putt here. Kay can be aggressive, putting nearly straight up the hill.
At least one more. That's impressive after all that time she had to wait.
It's really clutch putting from both Lexi and Lilia. Can Grace match it? I think about the day that Grace has had today and the ups and downs and the roller coaster of emotions, and having 2 opportunities to win it outright. Not to say that they were certainly close or easy makes, but here now, after having a putt to win outright, a putt to just stay alive. Just inside right.
Wow. That's how they got here. They are not backing down in these critical moments. Back to the tee in the 18th. One more time. Our coverage continues in Belmont, Michigan. Just a reminder for those expecting to see the NWSL match between Seattle Reign and Portland Thorns. It's now available on CBSSports.com and the CBS Sports app. We'll get you out to that as soon as we are finished here. We have 1 playoff hole in the books, and we will play the par 5 18th once again. Lexi Thompson, will she be as aggressive as she was the first time? That is a most likely chance.
Absolutely. There's no reason for her to not take driver here because she can carry that right bunker. It widens the fairway. If you can take it over that right bunker, don't run out of fairway as quickly to the left. We actually got a poor kick the first time around, kicking left and through the fairway. Lilia here opting to go with a less than driver this time.
Morgan, that doesn't surprise me at all. It's so easy to find that left rough. She did not like that position where she ended up the first time playing this hole. So going to try to get this to land in the strip of fairway left of the fairway bunker.
She saw that strategy pay off for Grace Kim just a moment ago with a good look at Eagle, so why not?
Well, with this right to left wind, and the fairway kicks just a teeny bit that way, and if you hit a draw, it just keeps moving into the left rough.
Yep.
That starts on a good line. And she's going to love that.
Said, yep. That'll be just fine. Similar place to where we saw Grace Kim play from in the playoff.
Same club, Karen, as before?
Yep, and I think this is, I mean, she's proven it to be the correct one from the first tee shot that she played in the playoff. Again, as Kay said, you could try and hit that little strip of fairway left of the bunker.
Leaning like it's a little right, but look, the wind's bringing it back into play.
Yep, that'll do nicely.
Just fine, right in the center of the fairway. Similar shot to the one she had on the first playoff hole.
So we mentioned Lexi Thompson bursting onto golf's main stage at the age of 12, and now the elder stateswoman in this group at the age of 29, still in her 20s and on her farewell tour.
And an undisputed fan favorite, Kelly. Everywhere she goes, always goes the extra mile for the fans, spectators, sponsors.
He likes it.
It's good. Same place as before, I believe.
Yeah, it'll run through on that left side there, but almost the exact same place she was the first time around. First time she played this hole today in regulation.
She is swinging with so much confidence right now. We'll see how that lie looks from the other side in just a moment as our coverage continues in the playoff of the Meijer LPGA Classic. Our coverage continues at the Meijer LPGA Classic. We are getting a bonus set of holes here on the par 5 18th for the second time in this three-way playoff with Lilia Vu, Grace Kim, and Lexi Thompson. As they make their way to where their tee shots landed. Morgan, who do you give the advantage to here?
I'd give the advantage to Lexi, mostly because she's the closest to the green. We'll have only an iron left, but Lilia and Grace are both in very good position. They'll just have longer shots. I mean, there you can see, look how much further up Lexi is walking towards her ball, even though it's in the rough. Slight advantage there for Lexi.
Growing up playing against her brothers all the time at Eagle Trace and Coral Gables, she had no choice but to go for everything, trying to keep up with the brothers. Very gifted golf family. Bit of royalty on the tour scene, if you will. Lilia Vu has achieved major championship status very quickly, winning twice last year in the biggies.
Lilia generally, she just has such a simple swing and hits the ball pretty darn straight, maybe with a little draw. 210 yards to the front, 222 to the hole, but she's looking at that front number. Yeah, that getting pretty high, wind pushing it now to the left. It's not a bad place.
Lengthy putt.
We nearly saw Allie Ewing hole one from there earlier today. It's not out of the realm of possibility. Now Grace Kim.
Grace got a 5-wood here. She's got 201 to the front, 213 to the hole. Perfectly flat lie. Hit a tremendous shot here just a few minutes ago. Just hit another good shot. This one more turning over on the wind towards the left half of the green. I'll leave a long putt.
So a couple of lengthy eagle tries. Lexi now more from the left side of the fairway, hitting a little bit more into the wind, Karen, than riding the wind.
Yeah, she is. But this lie is a little bit more involved than the first two times round here. There's more grass behind the ball here, so this one could come out a little squirrely. You know, take maybe more distance off of it, but she's got 8 yards longer than she just had. 172 front, 184 to the hole. I suspect this should be the same club. This should be the 7, which I kind of like because it should land on the front and bounce up.
And a tree in the way as well, forcing her to aim a little further to the right.
Can use that as a guide, Morgan. This is left half of the green as well.
And the club face shut down again like it did last time. She's going to be in a similar spot. Maybe almost the exact same place, slightly closer than she was. So she'll have an idea that it's not all of that quick.
Players tend to go to school off of other players' lines, but she can go to school off of her own just a matter of moments ago when they played this hole the first time.
Yeah, but, you know, all these players have that certainly intensity that you'd expect to have in a playoff, but also, you know, Lexi really seems to be enjoying the moment, knowing that she is stepping away from full-time competitive golf. You never know how many more opportunities like this you're going to have, and she's totally comfortable with that and okay with it. But when it's here, soak it up, especially with this crowd here in Grand Rapids.
She was asked yesterday what's the proudest moment of her career. She said really there's two. One's proud and one's special. Pride came when she got her first win at the Navistar LPGA Classic with her dad Scott on the bag. Happy Father's Day to Scott, who's somewhere in that crowd today. And also the special moment, being able to get the first win under the belt is always a big process, a learning process, but you take that, you go to a major championship, you've got your family hanging around, you take the dive into Poppy's Pond. She said that'll be the most special. But if she can get this victory, Morgan, with all that's transpired in the last few weeks since she announced her retirement from a full schedule, you'd have to maybe put it up there.
It has been long awaited from Lexi, from the fans. You can almost feel like they're just willing her, or trying to will her to victory here. But, you know, she's executing. All of these players really have executed tremendously down the stretch under some pressure. That putt that she made the first playoff hole of about 10-12 feet, that was incredibly clutch. And then for Lily and Grace to match it, it's been a fun display of golf here, Kelly.
It's interesting when you are able to unload and get some things off of your chest, as she did when she made her announcement. She mentioned the struggles that she's had balancing the personal life with the golf course life, struggles on and off the course as well, dabbling in both departments. But she does seem to have a bit of a more light and airy feel to her this week.
Well, she's been in the spotlight since she was 12 years old, you know, when she first qualified for the Women's Open. And just those years and years with the spotlight and the pressure, it can definitely take an emotional and mental toll on you. And Lexi's been very open about that, not just over the past couple of months, but throughout her entire career.
Karen, 5 years since her last LPGA victory at the ShopRite Classic. You know she can practically taste this one.
No doubt about it, but her game this week has been trending. Every day that she's played, you could see the improvements, and the confidence has been coming back into her game. And you can't help but think there was an element of freedom with coming to the conclusion that, you know, this is the last year that she will play full time, and she has her goals set on making the Solheim Cup, but her game is certainly good enough to keep contending throughout this entire season. This putt is quick. It's down that hill. Slightly different angle from the last time. More downhill at the start than the last time.
Definitely is trying to have a little more pace.
That was an educated stroke.
Yeah, good correction there. And I think it should be noted, too, we talk about Lexi stepping away. It's not because she doesn't think that she can compete. It's truly because she wants to. She wants to have more of a life outside of this crazy world of professional golf. And, you know, people will look at this and say, oh, she can win this. Why is she retiring? And it's a hard concept to understand.
It's a question you asked her yesterday, Karen, and she said that's golf. It's up sometimes and it's down sometimes, but it won't change anything. Lilia Vu, okay, a lot of territory to navigate here.
Certainly, and a good 3 feet of closely mown area initially before it hits the putting surface. Overall downhill. Oh, that's lacking some speed. Well, it looked like she gave that a pretty good hit, and it still came up short.
Did she hit many putts in practice there before heading to this tee, Kay?
She didn't when I saw her, but that's not to say she didn't. I don't think she did. She was pretty much just on the range. Yeah, I'm hearing she went straight to the range.
Yeah, that's a long putt. You know, hasn't hit a putt of that length, only what was about 4 feet the first time around.
Well, she's seen these 2 putts, Karen, and now has a chance to, you know, do something with this. I don't know if trying to make it is the goal, but it would be nice. An oh, by the way moment.
It would be. The previous two chances that she's had to win have been a lot easier than this one, just because of the sheer distance that she has to cover. And it's going to be fairly flat for the first half of this putt, then it's going to disappear downhill towards the hole. Movement to the right. It's a positive stroke.
Also going to come up a good bit short. Didn't really learn anything there from Lilia's putt. And it's again going to come down to a short putting contest.
Advantage Lexi once again. But all three of these players made good sized putts to keep this playoff going last time around on the 18th. Grace Kim's still away.
Well, she was up to the challenge last time. This one, a little different. She has a chance to set the tone. She's not expecting Lexi to miss hers. Lexi's only a foot and a half, 2 feet away, maybe probably near a foot and a half. So must make this. And Morgan, this is where you start to feel your heart sort of pounding, and you can feel the pulse in your hands when they're gripping the putter.
Yeah, these are the moments that you practice for, Karen. These are the this is where you want to be, but you can almost hear your pulse in your ears.
Yeah,
it's that loud. Take some deep breaths. Just focus.
Never a doubt. That one just dying in the front of the cup.
Very clutch stroke right there. Beautiful looking putt. Think about, we've mentioned how when she really played poorly over the weekend in LA, it was this club that let her down, and that has not been the case today. She has made some very solid putts, especially coming down the stretch, and none bigger than that one right there.
And now with Lexi looking poised to get her birdie, Lilia Vu feeling the pressure to keep her chances alive.
She's pretty calm and cool when it comes to golf, even though someone like Inbee Park, who on the outside looks so calm and cool, there are still butterflies. But this is a similar putt to Grace's. Yep. Wow, what an
I mean, what a display of golf. We have seen clutch putting. First a clutch putt from Lexi, then Grace and Lilia here on the second hole, and now the pressure back on Lexi.
It's funny how things turn so quickly. She looked the most likely to birdie this hole, and still seems to be the case, but now she has to birdie this hole.
Yes, she does.
Okay, so all three successfully in with birdie, which means we are extending to a third playoff hole. We will head to the par 5 fourth, leaving the 18th, and they will attack a different par 5.
And no discredit to either of the other two competitors, but it's pretty obvious who the fans here are cheering for. She has been a big part of this event for so many years. Understands the contributions that Meijer has made both to the LPGA and to the community here, especially with their Simply Give program.
Well, you want excitement, you've got it. The playoff continues, and for those expecting to see the NWSL match between Seattle Reign and the Portland Thorns, it's now available on CBSSports.com and the CBS Sports app. We'll get you out to that as soon as we are finished with this exciting playoff. Nobody's showing any signs of weakness. That is 2 sets of birdies round the horn on the 18th hole by these women, and now we head to the par 5 fourth.
And there is just a sea of fans here making their way just to the other side of 18 for this fourth hole.
It is worth noting that Lexi Thompson bogeyed the fourth hole in her round today, part of an even par front nine, and Grace Kim was holding on after stumbling with back-to-back bogeys to start her round and made par at number 4. Lilia Vu was the lone player in this trio to birdie it.
Yeah, Lexi had a poor third shot, poor wedge. It's not the same type of hole that they just experienced, such an easily reachable par 5. This one, quite a bit more thought into the way that these players will attack this hole.
Marshall.
How's this hole going to be approached by these players as opposed to the way they played the 18th?
Well, I'd expect them to all take driver here because it does have significantly more length. And playing into the wind, a little bit off the left.
Yeah, I think first and foremost is avoiding the bunkers. One that comes a little bit short and shouldn't be in play on the left, and then the second bunker on the right, 280 yards to that bunker.
Good one.
Very level golf swing.
Yeah, gorgeous shot. She's getting a good amount of run on that. Maybe an outside shot at getting that close to the front of the green.
Yeah, that was a beautifully struck ball. She really put a little pep into that one, and you can see the result. The nice run out with the driver, and now Grace Kim with driver as well.
Yeah, Grace laid it out quite perfectly with the bunker on the left, and you have the bunker on the right that is a little bit farther away, that players will favor the right side because of that bunker.
She doesn't seem to like this one. Just going to trickle through the rough.
And just stop short of the bunker.
Very fortunate. Doesn't look like too bad of a lie either. All right, more of a straightaway here, Karen. So what's going through the mind, you think?
Well, for Lexi, with this tee shot, the bunker on the left doesn't, I mean, I think with a really good solid drive with a bit of air under it, I think she can carry it. It's going to be a shot of about 254, maybe even just 250 if the tee's up a little bit from where the line is. Wind off the left, just a solid strike, and she can take it down that left side.
Distracted by some wind or something, or just not, maybe not her target fully committed.
Yeah, there didn't appear to be too much wind down here on the fairway, but there's a lot of movement with the spectators and gallery trying to get into a position to watch their favorite hit their shot.
Set up just a little open with her feet, and it's, yeah, little left.
It bounced out of the bunker though.
Well, that makes a huge difference if it did hop out without too much tree trouble in front of her. That's could be a very lucky break.
It's really the first shot we've seen her miss in hours. Lexi Thompson, she's really been on since the back nine today. They're off the tee on the third playoff hole at the Meijer LPGA Classic. We're about 15 minutes north of downtown Grand Rapids. Temperatures right now right around 90 degrees. We've got a hot, humid day, but these golf balls are still traveling. We saw a lot of run out by the tee shot of Lilia Vu. Lexi Thompson missed the fairway, and this is a look at where her ball ended up. So, Karen, what does it look like from here?
Well, the ball's quite above her feet. She's got a good lie, but the ball's well above her feet. She's got...
The one on the right is 186. The one on the left is 200.
She's got
Yeah, 192 to the back of it.
Now, in an ideal world, the strategy from here, I mean, the tendency is to want to take it as deep as you can down there, but I personally think that's a...
We're going to get it out of you yet, Karen.
Well, I like what Mark said there. 180 to the front bunk, to the bunker on the right. I think she can't get to the green. But you have...
I don't want to be too far back.
You have to think about your angle to that flag. If you go too far left for your layup, your shot's going to be downwind over the front bunker, and to a flag that's tight on that side, that's not a good angle, and it's not going to give you the best opportunity to get close. The best opportunity is from the right side of this fairway.
Just want to make sure you have a good look for birdie. What can I do after getting that break off the tee?
Lexi!
More left maybe than she was looking, but that is just fine. Chasing down the fairway, that'll leave her with a wedge of some kind into this front hole location.
Grace Kim wasting no time here.
No, ball well above her feet. Not a very good lie. Just trying to push this one somewhere down the fairway.
So far, this is playing dramatically different than the par 5 18th did. And next up will be Vu, Kay.
Yeah, 250 yards to the front. And it looks like she's got the fairway wood out. If she can hit kind of a low heater, she can scoop this up perhaps somewhere within 10, 15 paces of the front of the green.
Really want to keep it a little up the right. Looks like where this is heading.
Yeah, she hit that higher than I thought, kind of pushed it a little, didn't really have any draw to it.
She got a lot out of that, a lot of trundle. Might have just ended up in the bunker, but that's not a bad place to be in the greenside bunker here.
Well, what would this win mean to Lexi Thompson? It would be number 12 in her storied career, and her first win in 1,834 days. And a nice little paycheck to add to this farewell tour, if she can amass that $450,000. No doubt the fan favorite. You give what you get, and she has given so much of her free time to the fans of the LPGA Tour. Putting it quite simply, she gets it.
Yeah, there's no question that she gets it. She understands what it means to be the star that she is, and truly, I mean, the things that people don't see. Obviously, we see her sign autographs and things like that, but she goes to almost every Pro-Am party. She writes thank you notes to the sponsors, to the people that she plays with each and every week. And she's a role model for so many youngsters. She talks about it personally, how much the fans mean to her.
Well, and she's always been a household name, Morgan, but, you know, she did take a chance, much like Annika Sorenstam did, competing against the men on the PGA Tour. And that takes you to a new level of popularity. You're praised by some. You're told that you should stay on your own tour by others. But regardless, it's a polarizing moment which draws a lot of eyeballs, and it elevates your status on the sports stage, and she handled herself quite well, becoming just the second woman to post a sub-70 round on the PGA Tour.
She nearly made the cut. It looked like she had a good opportunity to do that there for a while.
All right, looks like Grace Kim will be first to play. Karen?
That is for sure. She's got 101 yards. And with this being quite downwind, it's going to be really hard to get a whole bunch of spin on this shot. It does have to come over the corner of the front bunker.
It's one thing we haven't seen a lot of today is the ball checking and spinning back. It's a lot of run out here.
And she's playing right of the bunker.
Greens are very bouncy, as you can see just by that one, taking one big hop.
That's as much action as we have seen. And now Lexi, Karen.
She has 76 yards. And that's a number that Lexi would have practiced quite a bit. I mean, 75 is a popular number to work on if you're a player out here on the LPGA Tour. Wind down and off the left. Just switched just a hair right now.
Everything's going slow.
Really difficult to get this close from this side of the fairway to that flag.
Especially the wind as well, Karen.
See, that's done.
Yeah, it's been gusty and it's just switching around just a bit more to the left at the moment. And Grace, it was directed down. Now for Lexi, it's just helping and off the left. Got to strike
Expect her
so
to take
pure to
dead
get
aim
spin.
here, Karen.
Yeah.
Even still, just can't get any more spin than that. These greens are so firm, and like Karen said, just a poor angle into that left hole location.
Wow, it feels like ages since we've checked in on Lily Abu, but this is her situation with the ball in the bunker there in the bottom left corner. Okay, what is the difficulty level of this shot?
Well, it's not that difficult. The thing that's a little bit questionable is there's some pretty thick rake marks that her ball is down in. So it's sitting down a little bit. Looks like there's a lot of sand in there. But Morgan, if she hits this a little heavy but can carry to the edge of the green, she's got room for it to trundle out.
Yeah, considering that she's not short-sighted here, I think sitting down isn't the end of the world.
Ideally, she'd like to leave this a little short of the hole to leave herself an uphill birdie putt.
She's in the driver's seat right now.
Oh, beautiful shot.
Fabulous. Just, I mean, two beautiful golf swings to get to that point. And then to pay it off with that bunker shot. Did sound like it came out just a little bit heavy, but had that green to work with. Just sitting down ever so slightly, so it came out with no spin. And really putting the pressure on the other two now to make.
Looking for a win in her first start since March. Former world #1, no doubt has all the tools to get back there.
She's played like world #1 today. You know, the form that we saw last year, certainly, I mean, a closing 65, and then the way that she's played these couple of playoff holes as well.
And worth noting that Nelly Korda was here but missed the cut, a past champion at the Meijer LPGA Classic. Seems like it's gone one of two ways for Nelly. It's either a win or a missed cut. Certainly very lopsided in the former department. But it is Lilia Vu who has a chance to win this week. Now Grace Kim getting set to play. You know, Karen, when Lexi was asked what it's like to play here this week, she said she's all smiles and she's just trying to give herself some grace. I don't think she realized she was going to be getting some grace in this playoff, and she has come to play.
Yeah, she really has. And you can see it in her style of play. Grace has to make this.
Short again.
Oh, that hurts, knowing that you probably have to make that putt and to leave it short right in the heart. You could tell from her reaction. Now just has to sit back and watch.
And what is ahead here?
Well, I think for Lexi, she's left this in quite a good spot. I mean, it's uphill towards the hole. She can give this one a good roll. And I like the fact, Morgan, that she's picking out the line.
Yeah, she and Mark have gone through this similar sort of routine. Pick a spot where she wants to roll the ball over about halfway to the hole. Let it die off the high point.
Wasn't quite sure how she felt about that putt with that reaction.
Yeah, just not quite enough break. I think she knew it pretty much right away. Maybe didn't quite hit her target line that she was looking, and again, it's completely now out of her control and in Lilia's hands.
And what talented hands they are. Already with 4 wins. Looking for number 5. Won 2 majors last season, the Chevron Championship at Carlton Woods, and then she won again at Carnoustie.
And remember, hers is
that was it. Excuse me, just correction. That was at Walton Heath. I apologize. Well,
Kelly, hers
yes,
is a story of perseverance. When she first came out on tour, she flopped big time. Could hardly make any cuts. Wondered if she should play professionally. Was thinking of giving up the game, and then played a year on the Epson Tour, dominated, and then look at her now.
I mean, she came out, Kay, as the #1 amateur. All eyes on her, expected to rise to the top of the game, and it really has been tremendous what we've seen from Lilia Vu in the last couple seasons.
Never a doubt, Lilia Vu back in the winner's circle in her first start since the month of March.
I mean, talk about perseverance, coming back from that injury to win. I mean, what a performance.
And just adding to the collection, it's win number 5 for her on the LPGA Tour, and this is the race to the CME Globe updated standings. Korda with a firm grip on the top spot. Hannah Green holding down a narrow second place position. Lilia Vu, big jump today. Final round 65, best of the day, and waited for almost an hour and a half to emerge the winner in the playoff at the Meijer LPGA Classic. For Morgan Pressel and our entire crew, I'm Kelly Tillman saying so long from Belmont, Michigan. Congratulations to Lilia Vu, the 2024 champion. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports in association with the LPGA.